Hello, heroes, and welcome to another episode of Escaping Shadow, where we teach you all the ways that you can wake up from your mundane lie of a life.
Is this our morning program?
Yes, you're my fine guests, having escaped Shadow yourself.
Well, we're going to be talking today to the author of Mirrors and Crows, and after that, one of the famous chefs from the Red Sun is going to come here and teach us how to make intestine soup.
But first, of course, we have some promo codes for you guys for Shadowbox, the exciting new mail delivery program where you can get meals created that taste like real food.
Exactly, and I have 5 tips for keeping the mirror viruses out of your home. So stay tuned, everybody, today. But first, we're going to get back to our regular narrative program before we get into the juicy bits that we know you all want to hear and love.
Not that we're not deep into a juicy bit right now.
A woman with hollow eyes. Now, we've all been on a grand journey together, and we've been through some ups and downs.
Mostly
downs.
And some downs.
Mostly downs, under downs, under downs.
Yes, and there are some secrets that I feel like we've thought that we have peeled open the tin on them and found that there were only more tins underneath. So we're back in Saturon this episode. Last session, the team, the sunburned squad, I think someone dubbed them tonight, had gone to the Red Sun, had caused a lot of problems from Daniel McPherson, and came back relatively unscathed physically.
Yeah, physically.
I would say. And but we're back in Saturon now, so we are going to focus in on a number of side scenes as we sort of jump around some different things that people, mostly Calvin, will be wanting to do in Saturon. So we've got some different bit schemes for you tonight. Actually, I should let you two co-hosts introduce your characters you'll be playing today.
Oh, yes. That's right.
James?
I'm James D'Amato. Normally I host the One Shot podcast, but when I am here at this table with this character sheet in front of me, I am playing Calvin Weaver, who does weaving magic as a Vizsla. Weaving allows him to pull on different elements that make up the world around him, and weave them into new magical effects. Calvin uses this to make his life chaotic and stressful, which is probably not the ideal situation, but most of the time it's not what he's trying to do. He just escaped a pretty bad situation in the Red Sun. So I think he's looking to decompress a little bit.
That makes sense. Thank you, GamerX. Calvin could maybe use it today. And my dear friend Alan, could you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello. In our shadow world, I am Alan Linick. And normally on this program,
yes,
I am Wayne, a sad boy.
It's become the most specific descriptor for him.
Yes, not really a maker no more. Not really a detective no more.
Yeah, solving a mystery makes you not a detective, right?
Well, maybe. Maybe. So I probably won't be inhabiting Wayne so much, maybe at all. Remains to be seen for this episode, depending on what happens. But at very least, I will be donning a series of NPC-related affectations to help shed some light on some of the, as of yet, dusty, uncovered volumes of Saturon.
Excellent. So to go along with tonight's different focus, which will still push along lots of the narrative, we have some different bits. So Calvin, at least, will still be encountering challenges, presumably, and trying to overcome them.
And where I don't encounter them, I'll make them.
You'll make them. And so venture is still good. So 200 bits for +1 venture to a thing. Still totally legit. 300 bits for drawing a new Sooth card, always helpful, especially as we take some development mode takes on this. And subscriptions give our dear friends Sortilege, which helps when they're trying to weave a little bit of freeform magic into any sort of activity. And here's the big one. And we don't really know how this is going to go, but we're pretty excited by it.
This is a wild idea that we had like a couple minutes ago.
For 2,000 bits.
2,000.
Limit three per the whole episode. So we're only going to do it 3 times because, oh my goodness, we will reveal an omen about one of the characters. James, you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so an omen is going to be a thematic visual or event that we sort of weave into our narration of the game that will reveal something about the character. Either character core themes that like we as the players feel that we've been grappling with, or hinting at decisions that the players know the characters are going to make, but you guys don't. And the best part, if you are the one to purchase it, you will be given extra secrets that no one on the stream will be given. We will make a note of your username, and we will DM you the information after the stream is over. So you're going to be dealing in some real juicy secrets.
Absolutely. Our 3 Sun Wardens for the show are about to get their secrets. So it's the secrets part of the show where all the stuff we've been leading up to, we're going to
I'm
pull back the
extremely
curtain.
curious about these Sun Warden secrets.
Me too.
Yeah, they're big ones.
Do we get to know them?
No. Why would I ever tell you anything?
No.
You still don't even know what that card was.
It was
Oh,
a
yeah,
red
that's
card.
right.
Thank God. Oh
And
my God.
I really hoped that someone in the chat would spoil it, and then it just never happened.
Yeah, it didn't. I was looking for it very, very much.
And that was the so that card that was not revealed was
Oh
about.
shit! We already got an omen purchased.
Okay. All right. So cool. We got an omen from GamerX. Cool. All right. So let's get this. Oh goodness. All right.
Oh,
we
wow.
All right. So I think.
So we may intersperse these throughout the
Yes.
program,
Yeah.
but we know we have 2 to do.
We've got 2 to
Cool.
do.
And
Oh,
we
and
said
they are
program
tied-
like we're
they are
doing an
tied
old-timey TV show.
2 characters. So the first one is for Calvin, and the second one can either be for Wayne or Kitty. We'll have you specify that. I think I forgot to explain that part. We're doing 3 because there are 3 players.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So where do we want to start this, Calvin? So the 3 of our darling Vizsla friends have returned back to Saturon via the Waynosphere, but I think we're going to pick up a little after that. So you've sort of went your ways. Where do we find Calvin on this day? And I can pull a card if you are curious.
So, you know what? No, I think I can even start this with
Cool.
like an omen for myself. Calvin, sort of like when he landed and when he was sure that everything was safe,
Yeah.
at least for now, he took off to go see Libre Light. And to do that, he's used his paper birds weave. And he's turned into paper birds. This time when he transforms, the transformation starts around his fingers, and they fly out as these delicate silver paper birds that's followed up by green and which one is it, indigo or blue first?
It is, goodness.
Yeah, it's
silver,
not written
green.
on the thing.
Oh, it is. I actually have my cheat sheet here.
Ooh.
It's silver, green, blue, indigo, gray.
Yeah, so
cetera.
silver, green, blue, indigo, gray, pale, red, and finally gold birds fly out, and this beautiful ribbon of swirling paper crosses the sky. And as it does, like we see our camera like moving up, and I think the music for this scene is sort of playful and light, delighting in the joy of flight. And then the birds pass in front of the sun, which is shining bright overhead on a clear day. And sort of counter to what you would expect, as those birds cross in front of the sun, the music takes a slightly darker note, moving into a minor key. And the shot lingers a little bit as gold reflects at the camera, and we get sort of a lens flare. And it appears with the gold shining on those birds and like shooting across the rest of this testament of Sun's stream, the gold and silver light dances across them, making it look a bit like flames.
Beautiful. I'm going to award you a despair.
Okay.
So let's just start this off right. As the scintillating birds across the sun, the audience gets the sort of camera view as you watch these beautiful paper birds pass through, there's a shadow of a bird that passes over the sun as well at the tail end. And the card I've drawn to start off this scene is Imperator. It is the sovereign. It's a very powerful card of Kitty, of visions. Its meanings are wisdom in war, turning points, and deciding factors. So
wow, god damn this game and its magic and its actual magic.
All right, so you are sailing across the sun as you get to the district that you're from. That there is the obsidian leavings of the McPherson store and your old apartment, but past that is the spiral tower that Libre Light tends to live in.
Yeah. So Calvin this time lands as birds that sort of swirl together to recreate his form at the bottom of the tower. And walks his way up. Not walking up. He runs up. He's excited, but it's not the urgency of landing right at the door, which is what he's done the past couple times he's been here.
Absolutely. So you just tear the door open. And
I think he throws the doors open and he runs inside. Libre Light.
As you get to the top of the tower where his office is, and there's the little entertaining room, you can see through the window of the door that Libre Light is deep in study over an enormous book with very ancient, tattered pages. But he looks up as you come in.
Yeah, Calvin comes inside and he looks relieved. He's worried, especially after all that's happened, that anything that escapes his sight is temporary and fleeting.
Yeah.
And here this person that, for a while he thought he would never get to see again because he was blind for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And he looks over Libre Light and I think happy tears just come to his eyes.
Libre Light, pushes up from the desk and gives you an embrace, but you can see that there's worry sort of written over the pages. Bits that are crumpled at the edges and some dog-eared pages that haven't quite been smoothed out like his usual.
God, I love it.
But he gives you an embrace and then pushes you kind of away from him by the shoulders and kind of gives you a look up and down and sort of is, are you okay?
So Calvin, in the embrace, I'm sorry if I made you worry. And when he gets pushed away, I've found answers, but they only got more questions for me. But I'm okay, and my friends are okay, and I know that they're my friends, and I trust them.
At this, Libre Light puts his gloved hands behind his back and starts pacing the room a little bit. He's going to the bookshelf that's behind his desk that has a number of ships and bottles and other nautical kind of wartime ephemera and accolades and medals and books. And he waves a hand, and this glass in front of him sort of slides away. He's rubbing his hands, and he grabs down a bottle that has a ship in it, and he brings it over to you, and through pages turning, he seems to be telling you the story of this ship, and he weaves a little magic.
As soon as Calvin sees it, he goes, "That's familiar," and he doesn't understand why.
So he's telling you about. It's clearly a sun ship, which now you know a little bit about, that they exist, that they travel between the suns. But he shows you magic that is pulling apart at the ship and showing its. He weaves it back, and he shows you the hull of it when it was first being built, and he's telling you the story of the creation of this ship.
Oh, cool.
Enveloped Darkness is the card I've pulled.
Whoa.
Which is
spooky.
Great. This is very spooky. And he asks you to sort of sit down as he continues speaking with you.
Yeah, I think Calvin sits down, and what I kind of like about the visual of this, I think he pulled, because this was one of those ships in a bottle, right? So he sort of pulls the bottle out, or he pulls the ship through the bottle, and it sort of floats in front of Calvin. And as he's explaining the story of the ship, like it splits into parts that are floating around his head, and like different parts are being highlighted, and Calvin's like sort of trying to understand the process, tracking the weaves that are being held in various places and whatnot.
Enveloping darkness means restrictions, loss, and endings. And the quote is, "He was so afraid of the darkness beneath his bed, he neglected the darkness outside his window."
Ooh.
Excellent. So he's showing you, as he's telling further the story of this ship, it was built. And you see that there were all of these people, Libre Light and friends, other people in sort of
The
wartime
same naval,
gear.
yeah.
Showing story after story. You can see in the pictures that he's painting, hate cysts in the background, but in their active state. So you just get the outline of some people in the foreground working on this ship, looking in the distance as bits of the city are being actively raised. And you see the little sort of animated GIF-like bits of magic tearing across a sector of the city. He turns a page. The ship is now built. It is built beautifully, and it is golden. It has changed its form from the illusion that had been on it. It is the golden ship that we know signifies, that we, the audience, know signifies Calvin. It is a beautiful golden ship, and it is now, the background has changed to be the umbra, the space between the suns. And you, Calvin, are standing at its prow with Libre Light. Libre Light is asking you to stop in the image, and you are going full on ahead as you race through the suns and the seas between them. Libre Light pauses here.
I don't understand. What was I trying to do? What? You tried to stop me. Was it worth it? Was I trying to do something good? Was it bad? I've been told by so many different people, so many different things about myself. I don't even know what I believe.
He turns the page, and it's you in that navy gear and Libre Light, and between you is the image that is the image of a woman with hollow eyes. It is the woman with the shh over her lips. You wouldn't tell him. But he like puts his hand on yours and emphatically says, gives you the sense that you were trying to do the right thing. You were trying to save the city, but you wouldn't tell me.
I have lived as myself, not here, but in shadow for a very long time. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't know that I can 100% trust exactly what my plans or intentions are or were. I mean, I trust them now. I feel like I've learned a lot since I've come here. I don't know anything about where I was going or what I did, and I don't know if that's what I deserve or what I need.
Libre Light cutouts of paper start standing up around an image of you, sort of from the past, and it's other little outlines of hypothetical humanoid shapes, all popping up out of the paper, and they are turning to you. And while Libre Light fades back into the page and disappears, all of these others are coming close to you, and you're whispering in their ears, or they're watching you. Might someone else have a memory of you, even though, do you know anyone you would have confided in? And he sort of like puts a hand to your hair, sort of affectionately, and he's puts his thumb on your temple, and he says, he's indicating, could something still be locked up in here to help you learn?
Calvin sits for a long time and thinks over this. Running through his mind, he's thinking about the people that he trusts now and why he trusts them. For Wayne, he knew Wayne in shadow. He had this connection to this person from another place that got pulled here. For Kitty, he knows that he has a connection to her, specifically one that is ethereal. He also knows that he did some sort of dealing with the original Kitty Hart, though that's hard to trust. And he also knows that Daniel McPherson is after something from him. The only thing that I can think is I didn't tell you whatever I was doing because I was trying to keep you safe.
He throws his hands up, of course. and then he gestures, look where that got you.
Yeah, I know.
And then
And that, I think we can both agree, is a pretty bad idea. I mean, I don't know how bad, because we're all here, right? The war is over, and even though the city is racked with hate cysts and sound holes, everything's here. We've emerged from shadow, and more people are coming out all the time. But that means the person that I've dealt with who might know what I'm missing, maybe somebody that I trusted in a capacity that I didn't, oh God, that's horrible, that I didn't care if it hurt them. I'm going to try and make this right. Whatever it is that I did, if it was going to be useful or good, I'm going to still find that. And if it's not, I can walk away because there's still a life here.
He continues. He pops back to the story of the ship, of you riding the ship, and he just flips to the end, and it is the ship is wobbling. Its very edges are breaking apart, are sort of wobbling and not able to keep together. Everyone else is sort of like waving to get away and otherwise bailing out, and you are still at the edge of it. Libre Light is shown reaching out for you, the weave to take you home already pinpointed, and you disappear before he can grab your hand. You fade into shadow right as he is trying to grasp you, and the ship is blown asunder, and Libre Light is snapped by his own magic back through the portal. And he shuts that part of the story and holds out a finger like, never do that to me again.
Calvin straightens up. I wonder if Moby Dick is a thing here.
Libre Light flips to a page. They stole it from us. And he's got it on.
Yeah, it's like a crazy magic whale with squid tentacles coming out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, I get it. I think that I learned something, but I don't know what it is. And I think I have to figure out what it is, because everything around me is going to keep getting more dangerous. And I really appreciate you trying to help me do this gradually. But I think it's going to be time very soon for us to not do things so gradually. I need to go talk to some people. Watch out for Daniel McPherson.
He gives you a flippant hand,
No.
And you see wards all around, sort of ping, and you there's a picture frame that's up on the wall that shows the obsidian space of Daniel McPherson's house. He's like, I'm safe.
Did you know Daniel McPherson before? Did I know him before?
Libre Light sits back and doesn't have an answer for you right away. He flips to a page. Daniel McPherson's frame is shrouded in shadow. Daniel McPherson is a stranger to Libre Light. But the pages sort of turn, and you're watching the timeline of that ship appearing along with when Daniel McPherson sort of becomes prominent. He arrived when you started becoming very secretive.
He knows me. In whatever past life that I had, I think that's where I became a target for him. I trust that your wards are strong and safe, but I don't know what power he took from what I used to be.
Libre Light looks very nervous at that.
Be careful. Don't think anything is secure, and if you need me, I don't want to face any of this if we're not together.
Libre Light pushes himself up from the armchair, and that ship in a bottle is now being woven back into the bottle and left in its pristine golden state. He miniaturizes it and puts it on a chain for you.
Cool.
Story on a chain.
Yeah. So Calvin takes it, and he pulls out the rat coin.
Yeah.
Do you know what this is?
He says, "Put that away." He asked, like, "What have you done for the rats?"
Rats gave it to me while I was dying. I don't know.
He looks very baffled by that, but impressed, as though it is a good thing to have. He says, "You were always the lucky one." Shows a lucky coin spinning on its edge and landing heads every time.
Okay, so I think whatever it was, it must have had something to do with this. Is there anyone who knows anything about rats?
He flips to the, you see the beautiful moving family portrait of all the rat family with its 10 beautiful eligible rat daughters who are all, fixing their hair, and so that the image never is quite, nobody looks good in every frame, right? And says, he says, that information comes at a cost from them.
Of course, everybody owes everybody something here. All right. Well, maybe I can do a job or something. I should probably find one of those.
He says, "You? Job?" And he puts out a hand. "Let me know how I can help." He gestures around, and I'm trying to think of what would he use as a key. What's an? If you have any idea.
Physical key?
What is the equivalent of Libre Light giving you the keys to the place?
Oh man, well, I want it to be book themed.
It has to be book themed.
Obviously.
Oh, we got a sub.
I'm just trying to think of what a key for a book would be. A library card?
That's pretty cute. A bookmark's pretty cute, too.
A bookmark is good,
That's from Joe. I think that's
what
it
more
is.
directly related.
I'm thinking it's one of those like metallic ones that has like fine sort of cutouts and filigree on it. So it's a little, but it'll slot nicely into one of your pockets or something that you can put away. He says, "What I have is yours."
Okay. Calvin grabs Libre Light's hand and just sort of gently squeezes it. It wants to talk but can't. And then turns around, or walks to the door, turns around and goes, "Stay safe." And he walks out because he at least knows someone who knows rats, because he saw Wayne head off with one. So he's going to go back to Wayne's house and see what he can turn up there.
Perfect. Excellent. So you're going to go. So as you go toward Wayne's house, I am going to draw a new card. It's called Dangerous Elixir, which is seems very Wayne-y.
Hey, it's notions though, so it's going to help me.
Good.
I want a cat like this.
I want a cat like Gertrude.
Everybody wants a cat like Gertrude.
Yeah, for sure.
Gertrude, who you did your dirty work, okay? By the way.
Whatever.
God, you are a monster.
Okay, she wrecked up McPherson's house.
Yeah,
it's not like
that's the cleanest dirty work you can do.
Yeah.
She could have gotten hurt.
I feel like she's a lot stronger than any of us.
She did wreck down to McPherson's house.
I firmly believe it.
Dangerous Elixir means power, transformation, risk, and consequences. A test of bravery in a single bottle. I like that a lot.
God, this rules.
Cool. I think as you approach the house next door to Wayne's, the house that the detective and his ghost roommate live in. Roommate, lovers? Question mark. Roommate,
Who knows?
Lover. We've not delved
We've
very
all got
deeply into.
We all
that.
have our own fan fictions.
I've got a I'll flip back here. But as you kind of round around their house, where you would expect to see the Waynosphere, instead you see an empty lot, and kind of gathered around it is a small crowd of 12 to 15 people who are just kind of chattering at each other and gesturing in the direction that the house should be, and asking questions. And you can't really make out what they're saying from this far away. But the neighbors are there, and a couple of members of the rat family are there as well. Seems like a gathering of the neighborhood, so to speak.
Calvin sort of tries to eavesdrop a little bit about what the conversation might be. Before he identifies someone he thinks is a soft target / gossip that he might be able to start a conversation with.
Yeah. So there's a couple of people talking, and one of them is definitely saying, well, he is a bit of an oddball. And you can tell because he lived in an oddball. I came up with that one myself. And is trying to spin some tales some yarns out of this. I heard he went to that spa, and someone died there, and then he just walked away. Never asked any questions. Nothing about it. No big deal. But you ask me, our neighborhood's better off without him in it. He attracted all kinds of weird company.
Wait, did he leave? Did he leave the neighborhood? Well, I mean, I guess, but he's flown it away recently before. How do you know it's not a day trip?
He's been gone for a little while.
A little while. Calvin is starting to get nervous. He's going to walk over to the property itself, and he's going to look around to see if he can find anything.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to spend a point of perception for this, and why not a sortilege as well. Oh, yeah. 8 and 8, baby.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, so that's a 9.
That's very fortuitous, and it's a 10 because of the card, right?
Oh, that's right.
So that is good. So what you notice, in keeping with this this theme of transformation that is in this place, is it's not even just, so what you know, because having lived here before, the very lot is changed in some major way. So there are, could you tell me what this lot looks like normally? What does your yard look like?
Yeah, it's like a magically manicured lawn. I have a small shed behind the Waynosphere where my pre-programmed lawn implements stay. And every Saturday at 9 a.m. on the dot, they the doors open and clockwork, they all roll out and trim things and take the trash out and stuff like that. It looks like where the house would normally kind of sit, because there's kind of a bowl-like indenture in the ground where the sphere itself can rest. It looks like that ground has been just someone popped it back up. So it's just flat grass. It doesn't look like there was ever a house here at all. And the shed is gone. There isn't even a shed, which isn't part of the flying apparatus of the Waynosphere.
And you can see the invisible, correct?
Yes.
So at the edge of your vision, only a better than normal possibility roll could get it, is because there are just it's layers of a residue that you're picking up. There is you're sort of walking and you're looking around. You notice the shed is gone, and you take a step, and then something flashed to the corner of your eye. And you sort of step back, and if you sit in just the right position, you can kind of see out of the corner of your eye fractures. Whatever left this place has left the very actuality, the fabric of reality, magic, broken a little bit in its departure.
Jesus, Wayne, we're gonna get another sound hole.
This is how we get sound holes. There's still these people around, but that's the most you can tell about what's happening here.
Okay. So he definitely flew his house off somewhere. Calvin is now going to like scan the crowd a little bit, looking for any.
What are you doing?
Excuse me?
We were in the middle of a conversation. You just wandered over here.
I mean, it wasn't a deeply involved conversation. You were telling a story to someone else.
Did you hear my oddball thing?
Yeah, I mean...
Tell it again.
Okay, so I said... so Janine was asking me, you know, do you think he's coming back? And I said, I hope not. He's a bit of an oddball. And in fact, he lived in an oddball.
I never tire of it.
Isn't that good?
I mean, that's true. It was a circular sphere. He didn't really talk to many of his neighbors, did he?
He used to.
Really?
Yeah, and then he got odd.
How long ago was that, would you say?
Oh, before he came back from Shadow.
So it was pre-Shadow.
A lot of people came out of Shadow a little whacked.
A little different, yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Calvin's sort of lightly scanning this crowd because he's like out of politeness and social awkwardness. He's maintaining this conversation.
Yeah. Perfect. You see a number of people who are of interest to you. One is a young rat daughter who seems to be standing away from other members of the rat family, and she's in sort of a cloak, and she's got her arms crossed, and she is glaring at this plot of land, and she's trying to, if she could solve a Rubik's cube by staring angrily at it. That is exactly what she's trying to do. She's just, you can see the fury on her face, but she's just quietly, silently staring at that.
That's my mark.
Is this Sorella?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So Calvin is going to
And they even made baseball in the Shadow, from what I understand, which is a phenomenal sounding sport, which I think we should import over, to be honest. They came up with the weirdest stuff over there.
We should go to the museum.
I would love to go to that museum.
Watch out.
You know what I heard happened there? Someone was killed.
That's just hearsay.
No. I have it on good authority. Do you know Jeffries?
Jeffries. Remind me.
He looks like a marble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He told me, and he used to do night work there. You know he did night work there.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
You know what? I saw someone, and I gotta say hi to them. You know how people are.
Yes. I guess we'll go over there.
Yeah. They follow you over? Absolutely. Have a despair.
Shoot. I did already get a despair this session. I feel like it is.
It's
okay.
Well, we're gonna make it worth it.
Is this your first time getting more than one?
Just actively, Alan, getting it as a token.
Huh.
That's okay. This frees me up to do some magic nonsense.
So he works the night shift.
Oh yeah. He would roll around and clean the glass and make sure everything was tip top and do security stuff.
I am going to use one of these, and I'm going to do it in a slightly different way than I'm sure that it intends.
Good.
So I might spend a sorcery point to make this effect work the way I want.
Nice.
But this came from Solicitor 6. It is the Aspect Ring. It is a puzzle ring that unlocks into 3 individual rings. When the wearer unlocks the ring into the individual ones, they can choose to put on any number of the 3 rings. For each one, they do a physical manifestation representing one of their moods or personalities will appear before them. So what I am going to do is use this as a focus to take one of those rings and pull out Calvin's patience. And then I would like an illusion spell to have that patient stand there and have this conversation with these two while he goes to speak to this rat.
Does it... Okay, we're going to need a roll, but also, is it going to look like you, or is it going to look different from you?
Yeah, I think it will look maybe slightly different. Like, I love any time in a TV show, like especially a cartoon, where they do this thing and they're wearing different colors.
Yeah.
So it's like probably just a different set of colors than his like normal suit. But yeah, his patience is standing there. And I think Calvin probably couldn't cast a spell that could have something be like have a sapient conversation with people, and that's why he's using the ring for this.
Yeah, I like that.
So I am going to use Sight from Freedom, and I guess Breath from Wind to create this illusion. And let me just take Imprisonment, Despair, Structure, and Flamestone Defense. No, none of these counter against that. So I'm going to cast this as a level 5 spell. So I'm looking for a 3 on this die.
Cool.
And I spent 2 sorcery.
Flux.
Well, I can't because I didn't. I rolled a 9.
No.
Nice.
Calvin's on fire today.
Opposite of flux.
Jeez. Cool. The Incriminating Skull gets drawn next.
Wow.
That's a once a session card at this point.
It's become a crowd favorite.
I promise I do shuffle these to the best of my ability.
I know you do, but what can you do against magic,
family.
Darcy?
It's a good point. So there are some cards that I 100% know what they mean now, because that's how this works. So this is not going to apply to this spell, but it'll happen after. So I'll let you know what that is in a moment. Just so the audience knows, this is La Lola Silveroon, a high society weaver who speaks with the moon, because she's awesome.
She's really cool.
I know. Jason
wait,
Robinson.
that's my gossip person?
I think so.
That's your gossip girl.
Okay,
Great.
it's one
I
of
love
2
it.
of them. The other one would be Antonia Garson, a poet.
Ooh.
that
No.
does-
I'm definitely the idea of like an extremely high member of society dabbling in really petty rumors is super fun to me. I'm gonna be
Excellent.
that. I'm gonna be
La
that.
love
Lola. Okay, cool. So you draw. What does the object look like?
It's 3 rings.
Oh, right.
So I think they're silver because I do still think all of these ephemera objects, rather than Calvin like going out and buying them, he's just randomly pulling them out of himself. He doesn't know where they come from, and it takes him a little while to figure out what they do sometimes.
Yeah.
So he pulls out the ring and like twists it and moves it to another finger, and then quickly as this image is forming, he wraps wind and freedom around it, and then like sort of drops it and takes a step back, and like the form of him is there and the colors are slightly shifted. I don't know, what do we think the color story on Patience is?
There has been a suggestion that your Patience form should be a little shorter than you, as Calvin's Patience is short.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But yes, give us that
100%.
color scheme. That's important. So this is going to work. So La Lola is still talking to this version, but
And I keep telling him that if he so chooses, he could change his form around the holidays to be like a snowball or like an ornament.
Would be so good.
That would be so
He doesn't
much
want to
fun.
do it. He doesn't want to. He likes the marble. He likes it.
Some people.
It's incredible.
If I had that kind of freedom in my design for my home, you can only imagine.
Exactly. If you're gonna live in a ball, have a ball. You know, that's a good one. I just
that's
came up
a
with
good
that.
one. Are you writing that down?
I should be writing these down.
You should have a spherical house.
Should I?
Here's the thing.
I've been living in this cylinder.
This is the second genius idea that you've had in the last 5 minutes.
You are too right. You're a weaver.
I am.
I'm gonna put in a good word for you.
Thank you. It's very sweet.
And they continue.
They continue.
Kelvin could not have had that conversation.
That is so beautiful.
You're about to move up in your order thanks to your illusion.
I love it. So with the Incriminating Skull and sort of feeding off of that despair still though, so as you are, I don't know, do we have colors yet? Super cool. Very good. Okay, so as you are walking over toward the young rat daughter, the despair and the Incriminating Skull, whose meanings are disaster, discovery, evidence, connections, and friends and family. It's Sorella looking at that pair and immediately wanting to get further away from them. So you're sort of having to go catch up with her as she notices that pair. Yeah.
Like walking casually but quickly towards the rat house.
God, this is very good. Calvin is going to, again, like, he's trying to be subtle, but he's also himself. So we'll see how that goes. Hey! Hey, you.
Like,
You knew Wayne. No, Wayne. Yeah, you do. I saw you. I saw you come to the door. I saw you come to the door, and he left with you, and then he came back, and he was missing part of a finger. So I know something's up.
Oh my God.
Look, I saw that you looked upset, right? Don't lie to me.
She's looking around.
I know when people lie.
She's like leaning around, almost as if she's like making eyes to see if she can attract attention and get some intervention here.
There's not going to be any intervention on this.
So 2 venture from Rourke, which is super cool. So why don't we let you stockpile them unless I think maybe you could spend some venture to like
I will.
screw over.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, so I'll give 1 and 1.
Hooray.
In case I don't.
Yes.
But we got a new Sooth deck card from Gamer X, which is our old favorite.
Oh yeah, Fire Penis Boy.
Fire Penis Boy. It's
Yeah, the
revolutionary.
sexiest card in the deck.
It is though.
It is. It's,
God, that belly tat is just so good.
Someone cosplay this.
It's weird because he's like clearly holding 2 torches, and then just like where is this fire coming from?
You've got until Gen Con to figure out how to make an appropriate fire penis.
Oh my
He's got
God.
a weird
Cosplay.
cape made of birds. It's so good.
He changed everything and looked damn good doing it.
Is that really what it says?
That's really its quote. Very
Oh, that's
good.
Again, my favorite thing about this card is the first time I saw it, I was like, well, that's sexual. And then I got to read the theme of the
And it
card.
was
It's
like,
like,
that was
sexual.
intentional.
Yeah, it's like, wow, okay.
Hey, lean into it.
Great, yeah.
Lust, sexuality, change, and destruction. So
Okay, so I think Sorella, like,
do you do something that initiates this, or is it just?
did you say, you said the words, there will be no intervention,
There'll
right?
be no intervention here.
Okay, so I think she like,
Oh God. Guys.
she like swallows and looks down. And then she takes off running.
Yes. Okay, excellent.
Hey, you get back here!
Tip tap tip tap tip tap tip tap on her little. I think she's wearing like little rat heels
Absolutely.
because they're all like prim and propery rich
How
rat
are
people.
you running? How does anyone run here without sneakers?
As a matter of fact, as she's sprinting away from you and she sees you chasing, I think she like shifts into all fours and goes straight up rat scurry away.
Oh, I love it.
All right, so it's gonna be a tricky one. How are you gonna try to catch up to her?
I'm gonna need to die because I'm
Yeah, you
fighting
are.
this.
I'm definitely gonna use magic and
And let's see, that's a Wayne. That's a Wayne card, the Revolutionary. So that's
Oh,
working
sweet.
against you.
Yeah, I like that the sexy guy is on my team.
This is awesome.
okay. It's really just a question of how I want to pull this off because I have the dumbest idea.
The rat is not a Vizsla, right?
The rat is at least not a maker. Unclear. I would say up to you whether she's in this way.
I don't think so.
There are also things called, I totally forget their names, but they don't do magics except they do one thing very well.
Oh,
they
yes.
They can have one ability.
Yeah,
and
that.
They do that.
That thing.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
A sortilege for you from your Japan guide. Lovely for
Thank you.
to cheat.
I am going to be pulling off some wild stuff.
Okay.
I just have to figure out exactly how. Okay, yeah. So this needs to be a level 8 spell.
Cool. And what are we seeing as you are running past? So we're on the way from the Waitosphere to the rat family. What are we passing?
I think we're going by that punch clock.
Yeah.
So there's
area.
like we're gonna have to weave through some people who are in line to
Oh yes.
punch in and out of
Perfect.
this thing.
Alan,
We're
you
very
couldn't have
focused.
given me a better gift. So
Oh,
I am spending my one forward here, and I'm using a secret that Calvin picked up a while ago that allows me to spend 2 sortilege instead of 1.
What?
So I'm going to be rolling 3 dice right now for this level 8 spell. And yes, one of them came up 9. I did not get any
flux.
fluxes. I did have double the chance for fluxes, though. That was a
Dang.
fun moment.
Risk.
What I've done is I have taken movement from freedom and let's see, space from infinity. And rather than chase her, I am going to be everywhere that she ends up, like Bugs Bunny.
Amazing. Yeah.
Looking cool.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be. I think that's actually the first thing. Like she gets behind this line of people. There's a huge shuffle. There's a very busy corridor. She like looks around, and I'm not there, and so she sighs in relief. And then I come out from behind a corner. I go, "What's up, Doc?"
Okay, I have figured out her deal.
Okay.
I think she's not a Vizsla.
Right.
But she does have a forte.
Okay, cool.
And her forte is understands the words, which is one that I've been super interested in.
She's a Zillat is the word for that.
Perfect.
Z-I-L-A-T.
And one of the features of understands the words is that you can basically change an object so that it's the letters that spell out what that object is appear, and you can manipulate one letter to change that object into something else. And I think you've kind of backed her up to the rat home, and in a panic, she puts the back of her hand at the door to the rat home and pulls on it, and just the letters D-O-O-R like foop, 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 like pop out of it. And with her tail, she like slashes the R, and it manipulates to become Doom.
How did you do that? That's so spooky.
And then the door turns into Doom.
Okay.
What happens.
I am extremely excited by this prospect.
I feel like, gosh, do you have an idea about what Doom you might want, or do you want me to?
We need a sooth card for this.
We do need a sooth card,
absolutely
right?
need a sooth card
I
for
mean,
this.
oh gosh.
This is why they're there.
Okay. Questing night.
Oh man.
Of course. Cool. What is that?
Missed this guy.
Yeah, we've seen it a number of times.
Swan boat.
I
vaguely
think we
know.
think that he's good, but he's not.
Right.
I think we
We're
always
excited.
think that he's good.
Oh, actually, justice, journey, determination, and achieving goals.
Oh, great.
Nothing stops the knight and their consecrated steed. No journey too long, no quest too difficult keeps them from their goal. So interesting, but this is in a doomed way, right? So this is what she is throwing at you. So I think you are confronted with something that you are pursuing. Some
That's pursuing. So I'm pursuing her, and I'm being pursued by this doom now.
Yeah. I think it's got to be, well.
Oh, I love this.
You know, we're getting near the end of the season, so the Doom, so D-O-O-M, they unravel and they shoot into you, Calvin. So they are the letters burrow deep under your vest and fussing with the jangly bookmark and all of your other bits in the glass bottle. And you are going to take 2 wounds.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
You can spend 1 bene to absorb 1 of them if you would like.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that.
As a horrible, horrible thing starts to tear you apart from the inside. On a metaphysical level. Chat knows what this is.
They do?
Maybe.
Oh, is it?
Do you want to know what card I drew?
Is it the special
yesterday?
card? Yeah.
Want to know?
What is it?
It's on the board.
It's on the board?
Where
Did you draw the fucking golden ship?
Where did Wayne's doppelganger go?
Where did it go?
It went to Calvin. Anyway, so this is happening. So you're back in, buddy, because your doppelganger's here.
Holy shit.
So
okay.
what would horrible wants to murder Wayne
Oh no.
doppelganger do? And so I think Sorella's eyes go very wide as you are in agony.
Wayne.
And Wayne, a specter of Wayne, sort of steps through you. And he should look a little different. We've got to change up the color schemes again.
After all the sacrifices I made for you.
Wayne? Wayne?
And Wayne, I think the difference is between this Wayne and regular Wayne is everything about him is disheveled.
Ooh.
Wayne,
Like
you look
it's
hell.
disorganized.
Yeah.
The collar's off. All the buttons on the buttons on his shirt are one off. It's like things that Wayne would never leave the house looking like. The glove is on the wrong hand, and his hat, his beret is like flat and like symmetrical and bad. The lenses in his goggles are like scratchy and like mishandled. Everything just seems like worn and used and like out of order. And I think he just puts up a hand, and if I really wanted to fuck you up, I would do a jolt mind on you.
Is that the worst you have?
It is not. Should I do the worst?
No,
do your worst,
because
Alan.
you'd be saving the worst for regular Wayne.
I think, the goal is to get to Wayne.
It's true, it's true.
So you're just in my way, as usual.
Nice.
And I think...
Sorella is horrified at what she's
just jolt. I'm going to attempt to jolt mind, and I'm going to slap that up to level 6.
Cool. No, you. I am going to use my favorite spell, which is a level 5 spell, so I do have to spend 1 point to jolt it up to level 6 so that I can counter this.
Great.
But it's going to happen to this, this Jolt Mind, which I don't know what Jolt Mind does, but it will happen to this Shadow Wayne instead.
Can I whisper to you briefly, Darcy? Because I'm curious about order of operations on something.
Yes, we should order of operations with.
So I'm going to fill time in the meantime. I'm sure Joe has already muted their mics so that we're not disrupted. To just plug some stuff that we've got coming up on the One Shot stream, one of the most exciting things that we have coming up on the One Shot stream is a new show that we're going to be doing, TPK with JPC. That's where JPC and James Dugan and Eddie Klinker are going to be playing Gloomhaven on the stream right in the same one-shot place. And that'll be Thursday, April 12th will be the first air date for that. So look out for that.
Calvin Killer. But anyway, here's what actually happens, Calvin. You know you is like an incantation, right?
Yes.
You reach for this incantation, and as you like cast it and put it up in front of you, it just unravels. It's as if Wayne just literally turns to mist and does nothing.
Sorry, Bobby B.
Oh man! So for the audience to know what this is to make it a little more satisfying, it is a counterspell ability that apostates have, which you have at a pretty high level.
I have it at level
6.
At level 6, and it basically triggers automatically.
Could I just spend a point to override it?
You could have.
Because
So this is where we get weird order of operations, mages or Vizsla ruining everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to draw a card to figure out which way this goes, unless you want to roll for it.
no, I love drawing a card for it. You know that, Darcy.
And I'd love if you obliterated this Doppelganger so that he doesn't hurt me.
I think the best part of it is Calvin will, I think for the first time in the series, have done something for Wayne that's like really a favor.
Yeah.
And he'll have no evidence of it, and he won't even really be able to talk about it.
What now?
You killed me? Because it sounds like you're bragging about killing me.
Gee, thanks.
Okay, this is great. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Elusive Sleep, which I don't know that we've gotten. It's got a beautiful swan in the background and a moon and a woman reclining in a bathtub. And its meanings are futility, worry, stress, and awareness.
Oh boy, so I don't think I do it.
Sleep can be difficult prey for even the most skilled hunter when it wishes to be. But what I'm keying off of is the fact that it is Kitty's heart and neither of yours.
Oh.
So I think both of you get
jolted.
We both get the jolt? That's even better.
Because you had it at the same level.
I love it.
You kind of did it at the same time. So what does jolt do?
Well, it's at level 6, so...
So I think it is initially crashing off of your counterspell, and you give it one last bit, but it sort of, as it's counterspelling, the reverberations between that spell, as you're trying to power it a little bit too late, shatter into both of you.
Here's the problem. I did some bad math, and unless we absorb some of this with intellect, we just killed both of us.
Oh my god!
Because it does 9 mental damage.
Oh, we might have killed each other. Okay, let's see. So is it anguish or wounds?
It'll be anguish. So it's that comes down to 2 anguish and then 3 additional mental damage, which is murder, right? Isn't that?
It comes down to.
So 9 would be death, but if we reduce it by 1, then we're still good.
Then you're at
two injuries.
Anguish.
2 injuries and an anguish, right? Or how does the injuries thing work?
I think the intellect actually absorbs a whole anguish.
Oh, it does. Great. So we're both at 1 anguish is what it comes down to.
No, you're both at 2 anguish.
Oh shit, you're right. We're both at 2 anguish.
Right?
Yes.
No, you would have just filled it up, right? Because being at 3. Oh gosh.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Bad things happen to Wayne, so good things happen to Doppelwayne.
Okay. I like that a lot. So that is a new card. I'm going to say that this happens, but maybe
this
I'm
rules.
very bad at this.
This rules. I'm very, very excited.
Gosh.
No.
Empty gallows. That seems so perfect.
That is so perfect.
Rescue, salvation, solution, favorable judgment, and escape. So let's.
Oh, so I get away?
I think so.
I think all that happens is we both got hit with this anguish, and I think it's not even Shadow Wayne that gets away, because the spell that Calvin cast is that he would be wherever Sorella is, and she's a smart girl, so she's not wherever this horror show is going down.
Right.
She is a smart girl.
She's running away.
She's running away.
Thank you, names equipped. That's really cool.
Holy crap.
So she takes off and gets into some secret, well magically protected area of the rat family house.
Well, that's our invisible sun card.
This is our invisible. Wow, empty gallows. What an ominous, beautiful card to sit around with.
It's ominous, but it's
helping out
also
Calvin.
Extremely good.
Yeah.
This is like a very good card.
Man, oh man.
It's a good card. Awesome. Oh, I really, really love that. Super cool. So, Shadow Wayne is hit, but I think you absorb some of the damage probably.
Yes.
Because if bad things happen to Wayne, Shadow Wayne has to have something a little better come to them.
Oh Lord.
But in any case, escape has happened. You guys have separated, and we are now. You are with Sorella, the rat daughter, in the house.
Yeah, I think Sorella runs into the house. She slams the door behind her. She leans against the door, and Calvin is just on the couch. What was that?
Can we quick cut to the outside of Wayne's house
Yes.
and see what happens to Illusion Calvin, Patience Calvin?
Yeah.
When you get hit?
Oh yeah, what does happen?
Let's draw a
It's 2
card.
anguish. I'm not dead.
But it's pretty bad.
But it's pretty bad. Watcher. Oh, this is a really cool card. It's a guy looking through this ornamented.
We've never gotten this one before.
Yeah,
this is one of my
this
favorites.
is brand new.
Oh, so cool. I can't believe we haven't gotten the
This
Watcher
is
yet.
what Wayne looks like when he's at home by himself.
It is. Yeah, that's very Wayne. So it is, who's a heart? That's Mysteries, which is none of us, which makes sense.
Are you not Mysteries?
No, I'm Notions.
Oh, that's right.
Its value is 9. It's a sovereign, so it's actually if anyone was of that heart. So it's a +1 to everybody and a +2. Sorry, if it's of your heart. Its meanings are parental figure, sight, alertness, observation, and knowledge. So I think your patience is keenly aware of what's happening. What would your patience do? So it knows you're in trouble. The movements of the stars are the thoughts of God-given meaning.
So my patience knows that Calvin is in trouble and knows that he needs all of himself to get through this. But my patience has also been given an important task and can wait until that task is through because it is patience in its rawest form.
The task that you gave it
is to be in this conversation.
So where are we at in the gossip?
And this is the other thing that I heard, was they all cleared the table before he even got a chance to start eating.
That can't be right.
It is right. So he sits down, he's, num num num, puts the napkin in his collar and all that, rubs his hands together, looks down. They've already cleared the table, they put the tablecloth away, everyone's done, they're going to the game room to play billiards or whatever.
It's like Dante wrote it.
That's what I keep saying. And I keep saying this about Shadow. Hilarious place, but also some of the best fiction. We should just port over so much of that. Like the Dante's Inferno book, so good. Both of them, Divine Comedies, so good.
Yeah. It really makes me think a lot about how Dante's personal enemies were terrible people. and we'll just sort of...
Beautiful. We'll fade out as you are valiantly carrying out your task that you have been assigned. While knowing full well that this is going to screw over Calvin. Very good. So I think this is a good point for a quick break, as you have Sorella in a relatively safe question mark location.
I think at this point she's understanding that there's no escape.
There is no escape. Excellent. The gallows are hanging there. All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, get some water, etc., and we'll be right back because there is some important secrets that we need to get to and another omen.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. We got one more omen to fulfill. Oh, boy.
All right. See you soon. Don't fall back into shadow, Visley. We missed you. All right, we are going to, I see some of you discussing in pre-ordering The Invisible Sun. Thank you. We would love it if you bought it and played it and told us how much I poorly ran the game.
No.
No.
But so it is going to be, if you look on Monty Cook Games website, we have some production pictures and stuff of the cube coming, and I think we might have a real honest-to-God cube by the end of this, but for the finale of this show.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
Because that means you had to cast a pretty high-level spell based on what I saw in the
Well, I
spell
learned
cards.
some secrets, and that really helped me out. I can spend more bene to call down the black cube. So I'm very excited for that. And and I'm sorry that we don't ship better in Australia. We've been working forever on getting a warehouse out there, so sadness.
Yeah, and those of you who are thinking of making that plunge, I think we do want to just let you know, like, give us like a minute, and like we'll make it. It's going to be a good decision soon. It's a good decision now. It's going to be a great decision soon.
Next week, perhaps, if I get my stuff together.
Yeah.
Secrets, okay?
Secrets. So just like
look at your budget, and then we'll talk to you next week. Anyway, so we are.
Of course, Darcy backed her own company's Kickstarter.
It was before it was my company.
Before you were hired. Yeah.
Actually, you backed it for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I couldn't afford it.
We were planning on doing this before
time.
Darcy even got hired. So One Shot backed the Kickstarter for her. So yeah.
I had asked you, James, if you wanted to play with me and go in on it because they had the group sort of deals, and so I was like, James might want to play. You're like, what if I do you one better?
What if I make you play in front of people?
Never enter into a contract with demons, okay? We've really brought that home. All right, folks. So let me know when you're ready to do that omen, because we've got that coming.
I'm ready whenever it is dramatically suitable.
I'm just wondering if Doppelganger Wayne is a good opportunity. If you're
we could
inspired by
stick
that.
the camera with Doppelganger Wayne and
A little
We
bit.
can follow Doppelganger Wayne for a minute.
Ooh.
Cool. Would you like a card drawn now or later?
Let's draw it. Let's draw it now.
Draw it now. Misremembered dream. Ooh.
That's my
That's
card.
Wayne's card! Are you kidding me?
That's
Are you
my
kidding me,
card.
Monty Cook? With your sorcery and your wizardry.
And your lies.
Oh my gosh.
Next time I see this man, I'm going to tell him he's a liar to his face.
You be nice to him. I'm going to have to pull
I
the
don't
part
even
of your
know what
personality.
his face looks like. I'd gladly tell him he's a liar.
Oh yeah, just look around when you go to Gen Con, just like look around the convention and the first liar you see, you'll know that's Monty Cook.
All right.
The lying sorcerer.
When I bring Lion Cat, so its its value is 1, which I had forgotten. You were up against a lot, okay, Wayne?
Yeah.
No, you never. It was there from the start.
It was always like this. We just didn't see the signs.
Confusion, mistakes, change in identity. And its quote is, "Ah, yes, there were rats coming out of mirrors in the sky to my dream. Weren't there?" Super cool, but confusion, mistakes, change in identity. And it's your freaking card. So,
Yep.
okay.
What
do we see?
I think Nightside Wayne sees Calvin disappear and just assumes that he is gone. He has more pressing issues to attend to.
Yes, he does.
I think he moves forward towards the line that is getting ready to punch clock.
Yes.
And very casually as he walks by, he touches someone on the arm, and as he passes them, assumes their identity, which is the thing.
What?
So, he becomes as he's just walking, there's a ripple effect over his clothes and his face, and he becomes a piece for piece replica of this random person
Would you
waiting
like
in line.
an NPC?
We are
Sure.
incredibly powerful and dangerous people, but our enemies are buck wild.
Great. Gimbal Vanek is clearly it.
Gimbal from Dungeons and Dragons?
Gimbal Vanek.
I need your clothes, your boots, and the rest of your body. So good.
Young street performer with a heart of gold, overly positive and believes in the very best of people, which is why it makes sense that I have ripped his identity and, furthermore, I'm going to drain him of sorcery.
Who submitted?
The Dirty Shizno?
The Dirty Shizno sent us a D&D iconic character,
I didn't realize
Gimbal,
that.
from 3.5. Great.
Good.
Well, Gimbal me this, because I'm also draining just a pair of sorcery bene from him as I walk by.
Nice.
And I think Nightside Wayne walks towards where Wayne's house should be and kind of plants and stops and looks up, and then...
He would see Calvin there.
Yeah, sees Calvin.
Oh, yeah. Slightly shorter, a little different colored.
But can see through illusions to some degree. So I imagine quickly writes that off. Notices the house is gone.
Yeah.
Notices there's a crowd gathered. Kind of snarls to himself, and then turns and starts walking up the street towards that moving platform. And I think that might just be the end of this moment.
Okay, of this moment. But this is not the omen yet.
No, this is not the omen.
Cool. All right, so he steps onto the platform. Dev 3388 is saying, speaking of affording things and omens, I'll take kitties to complete the trifecta. Perfect. So we pan from watching this strange version of Wayne step onto that platform, and we zoom out as there is a pool of like liquid in a basin, and there are hands with painted fingernails sort of grasping the edge of the basin. And there's the painted fingernails cascade over the, they're sort of glove, they're sort of, got some sort of outfit up to the wrists. So you can't see much of the hands. There's lots of rings. The painted fingernails sort of ripple across the pool again. As I draw Suspicious Hound, as the image changes. So this is going to be Kitty's omen. Okay, the image changes, and we pick up on someone very important to Kitty. So we actually pick up on Kitty and the goetic mentor that she had taken on, and Kitty is aggressively is casting and drawing a really intense summoning circle. She looks like feverish in her desire to get this elaborate, much more elaborate than she's ever tried, summoning just right. And then she sort of scuffs the chalk and stalks off, and the mentor Goetic is sort of shaking his head, and so she's having this training montage functionally. Suspicious Hound's value is 0. Its meanings are doubt, suspicion, lack of clarity, judgment, and decisions. And so Kitty is walking out of that like low cellar where she's doing this summoning, and the camera sort of, you see that those long spindly fingernails with nice painted nails on them sort of tap the edge of the basin, contemplating, and you see the hand do a little gesture, and a bit of the chalk summoning circle that Kitty has just been playing with seems to right itself very subtly, and seems to fix a part that she was getting wrong. And then it sort of pans back up, and you see the very, very tall, shadowy, beautiful, dark form of a woman with emerald eyes. That same woman, that same demon that had briefly appeared before Kitty back in the red. And she is sort of washing her hands like this as she's contemplating. So that's the omen I'm going to give us. All right, and I will write down your name for telling you a little more about what's going on back there, Dev3388. Thank you. Okay, so we get that view from a demon, which is lovely.
Also, that was a great romantic comedy that aired in Saturon.
What was?
View from a Demon.
View from a Demon.
Mm-hmm. The poster is just great.
Excellent.
And I think based on what's going on in chat, it might be time to just jump to the Wayne Omen.
Let's do it.
Oh,
yep, absolutely.
So I think the camera, it's kind of like smoky and dark.
When you're ready.
But there's just like pangs of light, like kind of like reflecting here and there. And we're hearing kind of this like mumbly, muffly version of Wayne's voice. And as the camera kind of shifts in the focus, we can see the face of a watch on Wayne's wrist. And he's absent-mindedly turning the clock back. So just the minute hand as he spins the dial on the side of the watch, the minute hand is just slowly crawling back and back around. And as the audio kind of like gets clearer, we just hear Wayne say the words, "You told me I was going the right way, and you lied." And as the wrist shifts, we see a reflection in the glass of the watch face, and we can barely make out the two faces of Aria Loha, the double-headed lion. And I think we cut right there.
Wow!
Yay.
If I can add one detail to that scene, the sound it makes when he's winding it back, I think it is a same sort of echoing sound effect that you would hear when the tyrannical clock card gets played.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent. These DMs for the deeper secrets to all three of these omens, I think they'll come through Twitch, if that makes most sense.
Twitch could work, or if you want to give us your Twitter handles, that might be easier.
Twitter would be great.
But we'll get them to you. However, if you want them to go to your Twitter handles, just at us on Twitch and let us know, and Joe will write it down. We'll write down your Twitter handle so that we can address you privately.
Excellent. So let us cut back to Sorella, who is just accepting her fate here.
Oh my God! That wasn't Wayne, right?
Squeak.
Wayne wouldn't. I mean, there were times when I thought he was going to cast a spell at me, but that was just out of the blue. He looked all wrong. Yeah, you're his neighbor, right? He doesn't look like that at all.
Squeak, squeak.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. This must be very frightening. I'm here to actually exchange a favor for information. And you looked kind of upset earlier that Wayne was gone, so I figured that you might need help. And why not my help? I'm one of Wayne's friends, and I could help with that. And I think you might be able to help me explaining something.
So you have how many anguish?
I have 2 anguish on me right now.
And how many wounds?
1 wound.
Okay, so you have you have -1, I believe. Yeah, you have 1 scourge in your Certes pool, and you have 2 scourge in your Qualia. So you basically have a -2 to any rolls from these, and a -1 to any rolls from these.
And I was just gonna say, I think I'd like to figure out how Sorella reacts based on an interaction roll.
Oh, I like that a lot. That makes sense.
Great.
Let's do it. I think we need a new card, do we not, for this new
Go
scene?
It's the jackal.
The jackal. It is the nemesis of mystery, so merely a -1 to you, I believe, to all actions.
So I'm operating at a -3 total right now.
I mean, you've lost your patience, so you're probably coming off pretty strong.
Oh, that's true. I can't
you're not
be patient.
calmly explaining yourself.
Yeah,
you
this
are,
is like a rapid fire.
Gosh, demands. You're making demands, not petitions. And the Rat family does not abide by that, unless you find a way to appeal to her, despite your brash nature.
All right.
Do you have 1 venture left? I can't remember.
I think I do have a. Well, no, I just had these 2 things left on my sheet, which are 2 despairs.
Yeah.
So I think I have
you
used my
spent the venture.
ventures. What?
You've got 1 to mess with him, right?
I do. I'm not
Just
gonna.
saying.
I'm not gonna on this particular roll. Yeah, I gotta make this ally before I burn it. I do want to make this ally, and because I am operating at a -3 here, I'm gonna spend my one interaction dummy that Calvin has.
Got him.
So now I'm at a -2, and I'm gonna use my sweet power that allows me to spend 2 sortilege, which is it just says advanced sortilege, which I know cannot be the name of the secret. So Calvin sort of stands up, and I think he's got that everything about him at this point, because he was just involved in a fight, and like it's sort of awakening something in him that isn't normally present in his form.
Yeah.
And it's very much, especially because he's wearing the suit now, he is a spitting image of the person that he once was, this wild-eyed adventurer and living weapon. So
Another sortilege for you from Monkey Man.
Oh,
Yay.
I do need it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Exuding all of this power, I feel like golden lightning is like crackling off of him a little bit as he stands up and goes, I need answers, and I need them now, and I'm sorry, but you're the person who's going to have to give them to me. So one did pop up a 1, but I do have a 7. -2 is 5.
5. All right. So 5's not bad. 5 will not get you kicked right out of here, but I think you are warily putting up with this, or perhaps sufficiently cowed. She's not of his life, so she shouldn't be crazy powerful, and she's young. And
So I think, So I think this happens. I think keenly aware that you probably do not speak rat. Sorella, Sorella like inches away from you a little bit towards a small like end table that's in the foyer of this house, and she kind of like points in the direction of Wayne's house and takes the phone off the hook, and using understands the words, pulls the word tone from the empty dial tone of the phone, and then changes the T to a G, so it becomes gone.
This is the coolest of forte.
But why? Why would he disappear like that? So I sort of figured that he might be gone. And while I am looking for Wayne because he's my friend and I'm worried about him, I was also looking for you, specifically you.
Squeak?
Because I think you know something that he wouldn't. And I wanted him to introduce me to you so you wouldn't get scared off, but now we're in the most intense version of the situation, which is basically my luck anyway, so I'm sorry about that, but I need you to explain this. And he slaps the rat coin down on the table. And I'm really sorry that I'm going to have to ask you this. You have to explain it like I don't know anything. The most basic version of it. Squeak. And if you do this for me, I'll help you with whatever, because you seemed upset that Wayne was gone. If you're upset that Wayne was gone, you probably needed something from him. So I can help you with that.
Squeak.
Great.
And I think this happens. Sorella does a very exaggerated and then pulls the word blink out of her face.
That rules.
And then just crushes the B, so it's just link. And I think she uses that as a way to connect her mind to you.
Whoa! Yes!
This is so cool.
This is the best. Everyone get this forte.
When I read it, I was like, I picked the wrong forte.
Yeah.
Any character I have from now on will have this as their forte, because it's the coolest shit ever.
Oh my
This
God.
is like weaving. This is so good.
But it's words. I really like that.
Weaving with words. So I think she connects her mind to you. And I think Sorella is the kind of person who thinks in imagery.
Yeah.
So I think we see a series of images that define and describe the rat coin. And I don't know what they are. So
Perfect. You get like, all right. So, let's see, images. You get flashes of great leaders, people who have done important things in Saturon, all of which probably means not very much to you, but the context is clear, right? It is great speakers, healers, artists, and there's always like crowds around, or a hate cyst that has recently, you see a hate cyst impossibly shrink as someone puts forth a hand and weaves strange magic to make it to constrain it, and so it's heroes, people who have done something so good, but then the images start skipping ahead to the meaning of jackal is the jackal bides his time, waiting to escort us into death personally. You see the other part of that story, which is all of those heroes, those people who have given so much to help other people, so selfless, all being pulled to terrible ends. So the one giving the last of their magic to the hate cyst is ultimately consumed by it. Healers who are finally infected by an incurable disease after they had, helped thousands of people, and speakers who are have their own followers turned against them. And so she shows you the rat coin again, and she maybe gestures to herself. Rats can see things. We rats, we see it. And so you see at different points in these timelines, rat coins being bestowed upon people who are doing good works despite being up against terrible, dire odds. We know you're going, we suspect your likelihood is that you will fall to this, but do as much good as you can with the time you have. So
I think then, because then this is a huge trust winner.
Yeah.
I think the last series of images you see are, it starts with Sorella like on her back in bed, and then like kind of turns to the side and slowly gets out from under the covers and sneaks over to the window, where you can see almost through her eyes the Waynosphere settling back down. And you yourself, among others, exiting it from your return from Red Sun. And shortly thereafter, Wayne coming out, disappearing for a little while, and then returning, carrying something under an arm and going back into his house. And you get an up-close view of this object, but in a completely different context. And in this image, it is in like a bathhouse. And it's on like a small, I think it was on a dais or something like that. Wait, and I will look up exactly what it looks like for you.
Very nice.
I'm so glad the bathhouse paid off.
Just wait, okay?
Let me find it.
Potentially.
I'm very, very excited.
Very nicely done, Alan.
What does this look like? Did we describe what the device looks like? Maybe not.
It's possible we didn't. Now's a good time. Do you want to draw a card?
Interesting. Yeah, let's see what it looks like.
I'll let you do the honors.
Oh, no, there it is. I'm sorry, I found it. So this object is sitting on an enameled table, and it looks like a crystalline, many-limbed starfish with like drooping arms that kind of come off the sides of the table and just dangle gently from all the sides of it. And the sense you get from the perspective of this image is that this object, whatever it is extremely powerful and potentially dangerous.
Okay. That's a lot to take in all at once.
She terminates the link.
Nice.
So
I like Sorella so much.
Calvin picks up the coin and he sort of looks at it. It's like morose for a little bit, and then like grabs it with grim determination and puts it in his pocket. Okay, so Wayne took something that is probably really bad, and I just have to figure out who gave it to him so I can find out what it is. Do you know what it is? Great. Well, is it like a thing? Do I have time before whatever it is pays off? What I'm asking is, you've done so much. You've explained a lot to me, and I really, really appreciate that. So I owe you something out of this bargain. I'd like to take care of that as quickly as possible before I rush off and have to go help Wayne.
Squeak. She bats her eyes at you.
Oh boy. Is this from the Revolutionary?
I mean, all we know about these rat daughters is how eligible they are.
So eligible.
Calvin sort of like looks at her blankly and doesn't understand what's happening.
Oh.
So he's like a gentle smile. Mm-hmm.
Squeak. Great. That settled that.
It's settled.
Great. Okay.
She opens the door for you.
Oh, I guess we'll figure it out later. It was very nice meeting you.
Oh no, Sorella.
I have to be. What is that terrible thing, or who can I talk to find out more about it?
Let's see.
Poor Calvin.
Oh no.
I'm thinking of words now.
Yeah, to change. Oh, this is tough.
Yeah, okay. Great. So she takes her hand and holds it yay high. And then as she drops it, she like compares to where it used to be and then pulls the word lower out of the air and changes the L to a P.
Power. Oh my God, it's going to power his dumb house, of course. Okay. Well, there are only a couple objects that could do anything like that. I probably need to visit a library. Great. Thank you again so much. I'll catch up with you later. God, I don't know what he agreed to.
Courtship in Saturon, especially among the rat family, is very particular.
She can't wait to tell the rest of her rat family about this.
Especially her older, still eligible rat sisters.
Yes,
You
a
know.
charming and extremely powerful Vizsla just asked her out on a date. It's so lovely.
God, he better not fuck this up.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
They may have to take back that rat coin, man.
What's Libre Light gonna think about?
I don't even want to go there. I'm terrified. So,
We're back to farce mode on Invisible Sun
Yes,
again.
we are.
it's
I
a
have to
roller
have a
coaster.
perfectly charming date with her, but also convey that there can be no future with me.
This might be a job for patience, Calvin.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do have access to that tool now, which is very good. Though Patience Calvin might lead her on, and that's not good either.
Oh yeah.
Patience Catlin is definitely going to lead her on. From Rourke, lovely, a venture for you, and I'm giving you another venture to mess with poor Calvin over here.
Oh, God.
Okay. Calvin shouting at rats, I'm gay. Aw. Lovely. So, all right, so we can still side scene this, unless you have like a specific place you know you want to go next. So
No. I think this might even be like a longer sort of studying scene, because Calvin has to research objects of power. He might even go back to Corvo's house to try and have some sort of dialogue with Corvo, because he knows that whatever thing that Wayne has to be roughly on the same power level as Corvo's orb.
Absolutely.
So trying to get an answer out of that guy or that person is just nightmarish. So who knows?
He'll give you answers for hours and hours.
Yeah. None of them
Vance's
substantive.
Vance shit.
Excellent.
Fucking Vances, man.
So you go looking, like we can maybe montage, right? So
Yeah.
you go looking for Corvo, or Corva, sorry, and they are if they are home. So their house actually moves around, but you eventually find it with all of your magic that lets you zoop around the city. You're able to find it, and Corva is not answering the door. And in fact, you hear noises coming from I believe it was the red door behind which you had tried to slip a business card.
That's right.
And it was horribly eviscerated.
Yeah, I have tinnitus now because of that.
Exactly. So that goes poorly. You go looking for libraries. What do you do?
Yeah, I think it's libraries.
Cool.
Is the next step. Because I know what it looks like.
Oh my god.
Endless maze.
Of
Looking for a specific book, are you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
If not, I'm gonna have to go directly to Abigail.
It's true. Endless maze means journey, long spans of time, insanity, inner turmoil, etc. We know what it means. She had a map, but it would still be a long journey fraught with peril. So I think you go to some libraries and you are getting horribly turned around and lost. And I'm going to give you a positive GM shift.
Ooh.
Enjoy.
What?
I
In
know.
this game?
Yeah, exactly. And so that is...
We're in farce mode.
The woman with hollow eyes. That's true. We've entered farce
We
mode.
flipped over. We left the night side path of this game, and you are. Tell me where we come in on Calvin. I can work with whatever.
Okay, Calvin is. I think Calvin is right now in a library and at a reference like card library, and he's pulling out this drawer, and like it's. I think there's been a montage before of like him flipping through books, getting turned away, like getting turned around, and like. So he's like bored and tired. He pulls open this reference card drawer, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and like Calvin is like looking around like this is some sort of joke, and all the other Vizsla in this place are just busy reading their books or what have you, and he's walking back, and it's it's like 30 feet back at this point, and the drawer is still going, and he's like almost to the entrance of the library now as he's moving back, and he's just sort of like exhausted, dragging this thing out, and then there's a slight chunk, and then this long row of cards he like starts flipping through individually.
Excellent. What about that journal that you used to have? Who has that now? That gained sentience. That was
Oh,
Vittoria
Lord.
Jou's.
I think it's in your closet.
You're right. That's great. So yeah, I think then we'll go through the comic scene of he like flips through each card, and it's not there, and there are like no librarians in this world. It's just so he'll like flick his fingers, and the whole thing like measuring tape.
Yeah.
And Calvin will just sort of like hang his head in defeat, and he'll feel in one of his pockets this door handle. And he'll think of, I do know someone who knows things, and the person's a book. I know so many books.
Speaks with books.
He'll set up. I think he'll like go somewhere that's not in this library because he's planning to have a conversation. Even if it's a conversation with a book, it's probably gauche to do it in a library. So he'll dash out.
There's that cafe that's by Kitty, the Hart family home, or where you've hung out before. Or...
Yeah, I will go by that cafe because that gives me the chance to run into Abigail if I need to do that. So he'll find an alley, he'll insert this doorknob into the wall and like open it up, and I guess there's this journal who's just been hanging out
Plus
there.
tons of books that you chucked in there from Daniel McPherson's library.
Oh
Yeah, I think you
tons of
open it and it's just
forbidden
like-
books.
Yeah.
I have
And
to
where are
order-
you opening this?
Just like in an alleyway next to a cafe near the Hart Manor.
Got it.
Because I know about this cafe. They do good French dips. I really have to organize this.
Journal. The journal is sitting up there furious at you.
Hi. I am very sorry. We were in kind of a super tense situation and sort of flowed from one tense situation to the next. You know Wayne. You spent a lot of time with Wayne, right?
These books are horrible. I've been in here for days with these horrible books.
What is the deal with them? Because I don't understand them at all.
They're just jerks. They're really, really mean.
Oh, that's right. You must connect
It's
with
all
them on a different
night
level.
side this and night side that. Very high-powered, bratty.
Night side? Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
She flips to a bit of the journal that you had read through, but this is just a brief reference to it. Well, there are the suns, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she sort of shows you a page that is showing the path of suns, which is what Vittoria Ju was sort of had visited different suns, and then she pulls that page in half, and you can see like a little transparency of the night side path, the back half of it, and all the sigils on the suns are modified. Everything has a counterpart.
And seeing this for the first time, being introduced to this concept, I think instinctually all the hairs on Calvin's arms stand on end and a chill runs down his spine.
Absolutely.
He draws himself up. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Okay, so yeah, they're talking about this night side path. Focus, Calvin, focus. Wayne came into possession of an object of power that is able to move his house. And the last object that could do that was very, very strong indeed. And now...
Well, Vittoria got between the suns. Was he going very far?
So that's the thing. I don't know where he could be going. He might have been going to the blue sun because he wanted to. But, you know, a while ago, he told us that he needed us to go to the blue sun. And he didn't ask me or as far as I know, Kitty, anything about it. So, you know, I'm worried about him.
Well, if he's gone somewhere you don't know, it seems like you should be worried about him.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't be alone right now, or ever.
The journal is starting to like push all the books back into this horrible closet and is going to try to keep closing it, but it can't quite get purchase on the higher books.
I don't think any of my weaves have anything even close to doing with organization.
Do you just have to like pick up books and manually stack it with them?
I mean, I guess I could do I mean, this would probably be like a level 1 or 2 spell to organize some books, right?
Hey, what are you guys doing? You making messes in here?
I'm sorry?
You making messes back here?
No.
The journal is like dives into the pile of
This
books.
is-
It's
this
not
is-
helping you.
What is this?
This is my closet. I needed to...
A book closet?
Yes,
Can you move it somewhere else, please?
I will move it somewhere else.
Thank
I'm
you.
so sorry. So sorry.
I got people in here trying to enjoy a delicious cup of coffee.
I will be a customer very soon. I'm going to go. I was just going to treat my friend, myself, to some coffee.
Don't bring the closet.
I won't. It'll be put away.
Okay, thank
It'll
you.
be put away.
What do you look like? Because I just drew Misunderstood Beast, which
Great.
its meanings are
Ooh,
mistakes, gentleness, friendship, danger, and betrayal.
Oh God, I love
The
that.
fearsome need not always be feared.
Yeah, this is it's a squid on a chair. It's a squid on a chair, and the squid like it's a squid, so it's just like floppity and wet and bad.
But squids can't even hold themselves up very
no,
well.
it's like
octopi could at least kind of.
just jelly, like there's no bones there. And the chair is like cluck cluck, like doing all the work for it. So after it like chews you out a little bit, it goes, okay, thank you. Okay then. And then the chair cluck cluck backs up and like cluck 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 like turns, and then cluck 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 goes back.
Like
inside.
old video game controls where you have to
Where you
rotate
can't move and turn at the same time. So the chair backs up
God,
and then
that's so
turns in
good.
place, click 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 click, and then walks away.
All right, I would love a name for this cafe that has remained nameless.
Yeah, we gotta have a name for this cafe.
Beautiful. Okay, so yeah, what do you do, Calvin?
I'm going to weave movement, from freedom and grace from wind. Oh, actually, probably can't use freedom. I'm going to use, this is going to be, weird. Ooh. Oh, weird. I'm using movement from infinity? Yeah, Calvin, at first is because he wants to take movement and grace and weave them together to make some sort of organizational system. And at first he's like, well, I'll use wind because that's nice and gentle and quiet, and I don't want to make a big noise in this alley, but then remembers that structure is one of the things that can't come out of wind. It's like, ooh. Oh, right. But the thing about infinity is that if I take movement from infinity, understanding cannot be woven into that. So I think Calvin, and he's still going to do this. This is like a level 2 weave of infinity, movement from infinity, and grace from wind, or from freedom rather. And he is going to roll, and yeah, he got the 2 as a level 2 spell. But
you are heavily hurt.
Oh, that's right. I should have healed myself.
But you've been so...
all of this time
you
I've
don't
been
have the
so
patience
absorbed.
for it.
So I guess I gotta spend... I should have done that before.
Well, we'll let you do it.
So yeah, I'll spend 2.
In the black cube, there are tokens to mark when you have scourges, because otherwise you forget.
Yep, it would be super easy. So they're in a graceful organizational system, but it can't be comprehended.
Cool.
So I think it's one of those things like the book that you need comes to you in this closet, and all the books except for the journal are gone. Okay, well, good news, bad news.
Clutches itself in a corner.
Those jerks won't be bothering us anymore, maybe.
Thank you.
Why don't you come with me and stay out of this closet? It is a very bad place.
On weird little book legs.
He takes the handle off the wall. I did promise this cafe owner that I would go in and have some coffee. I have maybe 2 orbs, so we're not going to be able to have much, but I'd love to talk to you, and maybe we'll figure out a better place for you to hang out in the meantime.
Okay.
So I think we cut to inside the cafe.
Yeah.
Where I think this squid proprietor of this coffee shop is glaring at Calvin because he came in and ordered the cheapest thing off the menu because it's all he can afford.
Oh, so okay, perfect. So you've been hanging out with this little book person who is perched on a sort of there's the chair, but has found other objects to sort of prop themselves up. And the Cafe Kefala or Kefala is or Cephala is pretty cute.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it is Cephala.
Yeah,
it must be.
Unless you're British, and then they're cephalopods.
Is that real?
Isn't that very charming?
Hey, UK. I guess keep naming things and pronouncing
and
things.
We'll
You're
keep
doing
ruining
great.
them.
We'll keep ruining them. So I drew Forbidden Game. And something I wanted to bring into the scene as you guys are sort of thinking about your next steps was that the last time we had seen a certain memory doctor, a certain memory scholar and surgeon.
I think I know who you're speaking of.
Yes. They had been brought there by Kitty, but Kitty is really nowhere to be found so far. But you know what's nearby? Hart Manor. So I think who should walk in the door but a certain Agamemnon butler. So you are, what do you look like right now? Because you might be getting near the end of your life cycle, and I don't know how that changes you.
I think the puppet I have chosen for today is a sprightly, young-looking, 6 or 17-year-old. And I'm wearing the paper puppet mannequin is wearing a little schoolboy's outfit.
Oh gosh.
And of course the window in the center is kind of cut out, and the spider puppet that is within the puppet is the same, but within that, if we could see, Agamemnon Butler has got this. All bunches of his eyes are kind of like going opaque a little bit around the edges. The hairs on his spider body are becoming like almost prickly and brittle.
Yeah.
And there's just like not quite sickly, but an uncomfortable like moisture about his little mouth
Chelicerae?
parts. Yes. What is it?
They're chelicerae.
Chelicerae. I love it.
They're great.
Little mandibles.
Little mandibles.
Little mandibles.
So I think he walks in, and in this, schoolboy uniform, 16 or 17-year-old young kid with carrying. What does Agamemnon Butler carry with them when they're doing work away from the blue sun? They're not used to being in Saturon.
That's
they usually
true.
do their work in the blue.
I think there is. It's just a bag that's full of like thoughts.
Okay.
Like
yep.
just nebulous, sort of like half-formed thoughts that he can manipulate into a workspace.
Ooh, beautiful. All right, so Aggie Butler walks through the door. Did you two,
No.
I saw him at the party.
Causing a ruckus.
Saw me at the party.
And you pulled the portal open. Back
That's
to
true.
Saturon.
Yes, I did do that.
So he definitely would have marked that down.
And in that moment, I would associate you with Kitty, probably.
Yeah.
I assume, because you left together.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did leave together. So you know that. Though you don't know Kitty by sight.
Right. And also, one of the character things we established for Agamemnon Butler is that people kind of all look the same to him.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
So
okay, so he's definitely not going to recognize you. The meanings of Forbidden Game are danger, intellect, strategy, and balance. Just so we know, and it is a secret.
All things Calvin is great at.
Yeah, sorry. It's a notion, so it's a Calvin benefiting card. Super cool. All right, so Aggie Butler walks in. You can make use of that or ignore him. You would have.
I had no idea who he is.
Oh, okay, cool.
But he will. Calvin will notice. That's a cool puppet.
All right.
So he'll make note of that, and knowing Calvin, he'll find some way to draw attention to himself, I'm sure.
I wondered, would Agamemnon Butler just be filing through nearby memories, trying to figure out who might know where Kitty Hart is?
I don't think
Aggie...
so, but I think he might be asking around.
Okay.
Casually.
Okay, there we go. So I just need to make Kitty come up in this conversation. We're golden.
I think you overhear it.
Well, I think go ahead.
One of us hears the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Wayne is gone with an object of power like that, he could be literally anywhere in any sun.
More or less. Depends how powerful it is. And assuming he didn't go die in the Umbra. That happens a lot with these experimental vehicles.
I mean, I don't think...
Pages to a horrible, illustration of something gone horribly wrong, one of Vittoria Jou's poor experiments.
I think I once died in the Umbra, so probably not that bad. If it, Wayne is a very deliberate type of person, so I don't think he's the type to just sail off into nothing. Though I do wish I knew him better. Kitty really seems to know a lot about him, but God, maybe I should talk to Kitty. It's weird that she hasn't contacted me in a couple days.
Excuse me.
Oh, yes, hello.
I couldn't help but overhear. And I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, not at all.
But we are, of course, so close to the Hart Manor. I couldn't help but overhear you say Kitty's name.
Yes.
I don't suppose you're speaking of...
Oh, actually, which Kitty are you talking about?
The younger.
Okay, yes, great. I am a friend of Kitty, the younger.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Well, that's quite interesting because, as you know or may not know, she has summoned me here, and yet is
usually
quite nowhere to be found.
You'd be in a circle of candles and I don't know how this works.
Oh, no. No. I misspoke, perhaps. I forget sometimes that you all have particular uses of specific language. I shall try another way. She invited me here.
Oh, okay.
That's better.
I
So,
guess,
if you could just point me in her direction, I will gladly take my leave of you.
well, about that, the place where Kitty normally lives was pulled to the red, and now a big sort of obsidian statue is there in its place.
Well, great. I will make my way to the red.
No, you don't need to go to the red, because we pulled her back from the red a day or so ago. How much time has passed? How long have I been
It
on
sounds
this?
like it's been at least a few days,
Yeah.
right?
A day or so ago.
A couple days ago.
A bit of the paper on the, the puppet starts to, come apart. And through the mouth, where the mouth would be on this faceless thing, just like a split of goo comes out. And the puppet tries to stick this little piece of paper mache back on.
Calvin's sort of hypnotized by this. But Kitty and I have a connection. There's a rope between us, I guess.
Of course.
So
I'm familiar with ropes.
I can help. I can definitely help you find Kitty.
Great.
This is great. I'm sorry. I haven't introduced myself. My name is Calvin Weaver.
Oh, Calvin Weaver. Of course. Of course I'm familiar with that name.
Oh.
You appear in so many memories.
Oh, okay. Memories?
Yes, of course. You must be at least a fairly well-traveled person to have touched as many lives.
I think you're gonna. What do you do?
Oh, I am a collector, some might say, and also a bit of a merchant of memories.
Calvin's eyes go wide. So, you know about problems with memory?
I am known to be contracted to fix problems with people's memories, either through tampering or sometimes self-inflicted accidental wounds.
So if someone, say, emerged from shadow.
Sure.
After they had, in a previous life or what have you, sailed off into the umbra to the edge of nothingness and then disappeared just as their ship was coming apart, and then came back without any knowledge of who they were or what their powers were, you might be able to figure out what they were planning.
But you're so low on time.
This is a weirdly specific hypothetical. I suppose that is possible, but again, I'm kind of in the middle of something, so we can talk about all these weird quandaries and potentials later, but I have something actually that I need to
Of course. I will find Kitty. I just have to stimulate this connection to do it. But that hypothetical isn't so much a hypothetical as a very real situation that one person in this conversation, me, is in, and I've got a lot of enemies, and I think...
Have you reunited with your patients?
I must have. It's been days.
Okay.
I see. Because my patients... Okay,
yeah,
Darcy.
I think it's only been a day since
the alternative is that conversation is
still
still happening.
Oh, if they're willing to listen, it's still happening. We quickly cut away.
Yes, we do.
And we see Lulu
her name's
Lululemon.
Really it's not Lululemon.
But it's close.
La Lola.
We see Lolola's house from the outside in the camera. We hear the camera just goes through the window, and it's a cylinder, as she said before. And Calvin's patience is just sitting
much smaller.
It's shrinking over time, and they're having tea that looks like it's been out for hours and hours. And Lola is saying, and then, get this. he pulls. Still shrinking.
This is my patience.
Okay, great.
He pulls. I don't know weaves very well, but she's describing a weave, and she says, "But of course, let's see.
See more weaves.
But of course, heat can't come from moonlight. Every first degree weaver knows that. You know that.
Yes, any weaver would know that.
So he pulls the moonlight. He's trying to do something super romantic. I can already see where this is going. I'm trying to point it out.
No.
But of course, you try to correct a man.
Men.
And this fool weaves the weaves together, expecting I don't know what to happen on this picnic blanket. And the lights go out. All the warmth gets sucked out of the place. And I have to recommend that he's downgraded a degree. Can you believe that? Do you want more of these biscuits?
You know what? I definitely can, and I would.
Can we cut back?
It's just shrinking down to the point where like the biscuits are the size of him.
Yeah,
beautiful.
we cut back.
Thank you.
Great, okay.
So it's been maybe 12 hours, let's say.
Yeah.
It's been like a night and a morning.
Oh my God, she's my favorite.
Oh,
She's
great.
extremely good. What a monster. What a problem.
Right. So you have a place to go, but you have no patience.
Yeah.
So tell me how that goes.
And just for future reference, if you have questions or something, like, you can ask them rather bluntly because you have a very roundabout way of talking that is a bit inefficient from a time perspective, I think.
You're right. I was being very indirect. So based on the things that I know about myself, while he's doing this, Calvin has no patience at this point, literally in his body. So he is being awfully cavalier. What can I do for
I like that, though, his
movement?
politeness meter is so high that he did just sit down and
So
it's not the library, but the cafe thing that he sat and had a drink at the cafe is because his inability to quash social norms.
It's his
is
social
so
awkwardness.
strong.
Yeah, he can't not.
He's not patient, but he'll do it.
Super interesting, though.
Move 1 mile
hypothetical is real.
instantly.
Lost a bunch of memories.
So I think I need. I'm probably gonna have to rest. He's gonna have to rest. Calvin, his hand glows green, and he runs it through his hair to deal with one of these frigging wounds that's in his body and has been causing him agony.
Yep.
So yeah, he's gonna quash that anguish real quick.
Okay. That's really helpful.
Because that is going to be extremely helpful. After that,
I'd love to poke around in there. If you wouldn't mind.
Not at all. Not at all. He's going to take his rest to restore his sorcery.
There you go.
And now he's immediately going to spend 5 of those sorcery, which should leave me with 5. I guess, whatever. He spends 5 sorcery, leaving him with 5, to instantly teleport somewhere. So I think while Agamemnon is considering things, Calvin is using freedom, and I think, he's using infinity. Infinity rules so much. To pull, he grabs freedom and infinity to wind them around this cord in himself, and twang, twang. Oh, no, wait. That's right. I've got to sing. And so he starts singing, which is, God, what was the song again? It was the Ramones song.
Oh,
Probably someone in chat knows. But
yes.
He has to hum this song. And I think this is casting at level 8. Because I can move any distance instantly with this.
And Forbidden Game is yours, so you can spend 1 less sorcery, or you can cast at a higher level.
Oh, great. Well, then I'll spend 1 less sorcery.
Cool.
Because I'll probably need that later. Cool. So that is gonna be 1 short. Ooh.
I think it works, but is the answer to that, right?
Right.
So tell me what it looks like.
So Calvin.
And are you taking Agamemnon with you, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm taking Agamemnon. I'm taking the journal with me. What I think.
Judy is a punk.
Judy is a punk. Yeah. Calvin is like humming Judy is a punk to himself as he's twanging on this connection between himself and Kitty. And like while Agamemnon is sort of musing over what this problem could possibly be, out of the corner of one of his many 8 eyes, he looks up and he sees fractally over an infinite distance them sitting at this table in billions of different configurations as Calvin is sort of like maneuvered them into every possible universe at the same time. They're in like this weird quantum state, and he's just sort of twanging and plucking on this connection until like the other universes part ways and our universe is bent and stretched until the place where Kitty is and the place where Calvin, Agamemnon, and the journal are almost the same place. And Calvin just sort of takes Agamemnon's puppet by the hand and takes the book by the other hand and steps across this short gap, and then all of infinity falls away and folds back in on itself. That's what it's intended to do.
Stuff just happens right at the end of the cycle every time. And it's really annoying. It's like the first half of it is like nothing happening, and then all of a sudden it's like you have 20 things to do in like 3 hours.
That's so weird. I have no idea what you're talking about, but it's really resonating with me. Like a lot.
Yeah, it's because I think in a lot of ways you measure time based on how much life you've already lived. So 5 minutes as a child feels like an infinity, and 5 minutes towards the end, just sand slipping through your fingers.
Yeah.
Where are we right now, by the way?
Your patience when you had smashed infinity out and back in, I think would have come with you.
Yeah,
if you were
this little microscopic thing flitting.
Like a balloon going out.
So then I told... Well, that is very rude.
Lola, we will return to you. You are the best. So where you end up is on a very misty, cold, where you're usually at in Fartown. It's like there's a brief chill in the air, but it's like an autumn day every day in like a crisp autumn day in Fartown. Where you are now is cold. It's cold and there's mist, and you're in these narrow streets that are filled with cobblestones, but these houses that surround you, they all seem like little maybe narrow single family homes that are really squeezed tight together, all next to each other. Some seem like apartment buildings with like a 3-story walk up, but they're all kind of cramped, and you can see that there's there's no difference between what looks like, you can't quite tell what's in any of these houses. The windows, you can see into them, there's no curtains, and you can see a little like smoke sort of lit by this blue, this sort of blue night light, I guess, that's happening in this street. It's full of mist. Agamemnon Butler, you would know.
Do I know what this is?
Why it is a place in Saturon where the blue is impinging on Saturon.
This is wait, I just remembered it and then I forgot. This is called Deja Vu. Mm-hmm. Yes. Looks like Miss Hart didn't have the patience to wait for me after all.
You know, that is very much like all of us. Though everyone in my little group, we've got some real problems. And memory is, I think, at the crux of it.
Interesting.
Because like I said, I remember nothing. And you say you have a lot of memories concerning me?
I mean, in my collection, of course, I have seen plenty.
And then over the shoulder of Agamemnon Butler, you see through one of the windows in one of the houses. And it is not Kitty that you see, which is kind of what you expected by the spell. But it is instead a memory of yours. This is your, you didn't quite make it, but you were drawn to something.
What?
So,
Wild.
yep.
Darcy.
So what do you see? Let's draw a card.
We must draw a card.
Endless woods. Oh, so creepy.
Jesus.
So creepy.
Full of eyes.
It is full of eyes. It is a
And rats.
mysteries. It's full of rats.
It's full of rats.
And friend the rats.
Lots of eyes and rats. It sounds, nature, mysteries, and the dark side of the forces of life. Take even a step into these dark woods, and you'll never find your way back. Do you have a sense of what memory it is, or should I start you off? It can be something from Shadow too. It's just something that you would recognize as yours, or obviously resonates with you. And ideally, is not a good thing because you didn't make your spell.
Yeah.
Is it your boyfriend?
I
Your old boyfriend from
my
Shadow?
old boyfriend
Your
from
fake
Shadow.
boyfriend?
Yeah, my fake boyfriend.
The dark side
God,
of the forces
in
of life?
so many ways.
It doesn't have to be that.
I'd like you to start me off. I want to
Okay.
understand how this resonates with me and why I'm drawn here to this.
Yeah, I think what you see is you see into the office of your old Shadow work, the place where
Where
the
Wayne and I
advertising
worked
company,
together, yeah.
where Wayne and you worked, and so this should be what was an event that sort of would be sharp in your memories from this Shadow Light.
I mean, since we're bringing boyfriends into it, holiday party.
Ooh, I like
yeah.
that. Cool, excellent. So you see, you're in like some sort of fanciful sweater with your boyfriend on his
so
arm.
fanciful.
Yeah, I don't think I have my boyfriend on my arm. Instead,
Yeah.
this is Calvin's life. So he
Aw.
is in a nice, stylishly ugly Christmas sweater. And he's got a drink that he's holding in both hands. And he is sort of looking longingly at the
nice.
person who will be his sort of fake boyfriend in a little bit. Again, Calvin was like crushing on this person, went out with them a little bit, and got his heart thrown to the ground. So
yeah.
like I think this is like before it sort of started, and like Calvin is like sort of invested in a conversation that's happening in a group, but you know, this guy is like clearly the center of attention in this group.
Oh, excellent. So you see that, but then you feel the umbilical, that little silvery rope. Since your spell did work, it is leading you around a corner further down the street. So there's memories of yours maybe here, but Kitty is elsewhere.
This is okay. That's weird.
That's not weird at all. That's what this whole area does.
Oh.
So if this is where Kitty is, it just means whatever memory she needed help with faster than I could get here. So she must be wandering around looking for it herself.
Well, this is super useful. All we have to do is find Kitty on the other end of this, and I'm sure she's going to appreciate your help.
Well, not so easy
Yeah.
for you.
Really?
I mean, I know my way around the Blue Sun, and this is not quite as good, but very much a breath of fresh air to me. But, I can only imagine what this will be like for you.
Well,
Not fun. Certainly not fun. Not easy either. Neither fun nor easy, I would say.
The nightmares.
You know, nothing for me here has been easy,
Yeah, well,
but I wouldn't say it's not fun.
I see.
Calvin begins to walk down this cord.
And I think the puppet is on your shoulder, and as you're walking, Agamemnon says,
Do you, since we are just walking anyway and kind of talking, do you mind if I take a pull?
Oh, yes, please. You know, you probably want to assess the situation and see what's going on.
Of course. Yeah, great. So, sounds like I have your permission after all.
and the puppet rubs his hand. And the puppet
That's so
kind
Calvin.
of goes into autopilot mode, and the chess
Calvin
piece
has not
of this
seen-
thing,
Calvin has no idea.
the chess piece of this thing opens, and a spider about the size of like a cantaloupe crawls up and onto your shoulder across the puppet,
Horrible.
and
I like spiders. This is horrible.
that spider splits and opens, and a tiny spider the
that's
size
sort
of a
of-
dime
Like, compared to what was happening to me earlier, this is cute.
comes out,
I think that's why he does it.
crawls up your face. and starts to pull webs out of your head and try to fashion them together.
Lovely.
Talking to myself and working on your brain. La la la, la la la.
I can only imagine the journal is like looking at this.
The journal is starting to like, you see words sort of scrawling as it's happening. It's sort of recording.
Oh, that rules.
This one's fake and this one's fake. This one's fake and this one's wrong. This one's fake and this one's real but not so useful. This one's fake.
I love him so much. I drew the card Imprisoning Ice. It means entrapment, imprisonment, danger, and conflict.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, Aggie.
I think that's coming at you, my friend.
Okay, great.
So what happens as you're filtering through these memories?
So it's still continuing to
Aggie dies before we get him to Kitty. I'm going to be so sad.
This is a Calvin plus card. So.
Oh, good.
This one's real but slightly changed. This one's fake and this one's fake. He's just like pulling webs and like...
When you say fake, you mean shadow, right?
No. The memories of Shadow are real. Shadow is not real, but the memory of it is very much so real.
So I have false memories?
Oh, you have so many false memories.
Look at this one. And he pulls a strand. And it's... You see just a random memory from your life. What do you see?
I think I see Calvin is like a kid. He's, I think he's 8 years old and he's riding a bike down a hill. And he sees his parents at the bottom of the hill and they're telling him to like, come ride down between us. And from the perspective that he has, he sees his handlebars stretching large across the street. And like that perspective is like psyching him out to even do this. So he can't even move on the bike.
Great. And he pulls a second strand. And this one is a memory in Saturon. And maybe one you have even been suppressing or didn't know that you had. And what is this memory?
God. Did we lose the stream?
No.
Oh, we're going to redraw.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah, let me know.
Oh, damn.
Whoa.
Oh, did you draw?
Sorry.
I drew from this little pile because I didn't know you
Perfect.
had a pile.
I didn't know.
I didn't know there were two piles.
Magic.
Look at Messiah. This is like the lady version of Sexy Flame Guy.
Is it? Good. Oh, cool, because I had drawn a not good card, so. Oh, boy. I drew, so Messiah is change, salvation, familial love. Wow.
So this is something where perspective comes into play, and also I think has Calvin getting psyched out into not doing something. So
you're saying you pulled the real memory behind it?
So there's, well, yeah. So I think the first memory, whatever the second memory is, Agamemnon twangs the childhood memory from Shadow. And he says, Shadow's not real, but this one is so real. Look at it. And then he pulls on the other one.
Okay.
And instead of like twanging and snapping back into place, it kind of like undulates in a strange way. It's like, this one's from Saturon, a real honest place, but look at this memory. It's so fickle. Someone made it and they did a bad job. Look at it. Look how stupid it looks. And it like it like twangs and it makes this bad discordant sound.
Oh man.
The meaning change is what I am catching on it. And so it is, it's as though the structure has gone out of it. It had, a good memory is on the foundation of truth. And this is one that has had the truth sucked out of it. It is not a poorly constructed one. It is one that existed and then had the truth pulled away.
Okay.
Someone took this and they made it bad for no reason.
I think then this memory, the fake memory, is Calvin talking to Kitty. And Calvin is holding...
Kitty Hart or
No, he's
Kitty?
talking to
Our
Kitty the younger. And he's looking at her, but he can also see her reflection through the drink, this glass drink. And I think the real memory, like in the drink, the reflection makes Kitty look different, but it's very small and hard to see.
See, they didn't even go all the way. Look at it. You can still see some of the old one in there.
In the real memory, we see OG Kitty Hart. Some sort of conversation with them. And I think this is actually the same memory that we saw earlier in that earlier flashback.
Yes.
The meeting between those two.
That is. Look at that.
That's not my Kitty.
No.
Why?
But this is very good, though. This one's a good one. He rolls it up and he takes it. This one's very interesting.
You gotta spend one of those ventures,
Okay.
my friend. All right. I'm not sure if that's a full-on despair, but it's certainly you spent a resource.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Why would someone do that?
I don't know. I mean...
I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Butler. I think I learned something very important. But
what is that?
whatever secret is on the edge of creation, I think I know it somewhere inside me.
Oh, wow, that is very good. And he's, yeah,
The last
that's
3
a
hours.
huge one. Holy moly, wow, what a big one to keep inside in here. Gosh almighty, I can't wait to unravel some of these knots and find a piece of that one. Holy.
And I kind of feel like that might be where we leave off.
I
right?
think we see Kitty first.
Oh, yes.
All right, so you turn a corner.
I've got the spider on my head I'm
think-
talking to.
I think the danger that applies to Agamemnon is I think he's just casually going through this and he reaches for a thread and tries to pull on it and it doesn't move and he this has never happened to him before and he pulls on it again and there's just a tingle that like travels up his body and all his eyes kind of glass over the rest of the way. And I think he drops off of your face. And I don't even maybe know if you notice it.
Right away, yeah. Because what you see as you turn that corner, as Agamemnon is falling away, is Kitty sort of sitting with like her shins crossed underneath her, and she's sitting looking up outside a building that has a big like bay window. And it's got a memory sort of playing out inside, and it's the looming figure of that demon that she saw back in the red, with those emerald eyes, with these long, just way too long limbs, and a young Kitty Hart in a garden in Hart Manor, looking up at her with big love in her eyes, and this demon sort of. Her arms not even moving toward Kitty, but just her arms extending and enveloping Kitty up. And Kitty has been watching this replay over and over. And so we'll see how she's doing and why she's been doing all
She
this.
seems good.
Seems really
She
good.
is
Really like a
fine.
good sort of healthy way to deal with your relationships.
Just
and-
walking up to her with all your memories
Crushes.
dangling out the back of your head.
Yep. Yep.
All right, I think that is where we'll cut. So
If
thank you.
Agamemnon Butler is dead, I'm going to be
I think
furious.
he's dead.
I think he might be dead, but that's normal for him.
Oh, yeah, that's a life cycle.
Maybe
death.
though.
Again. Yeah. Boy. Well, amazing. What a wild session.
Seriously.
What an
What a weird
unbelievably wild session.
Names equipped. I have written down here that I owe you a secret, and holy crap, I may reveal the thing to you.
Dang.
So-
Holy.
Tweet at me, and I will
You could be the third
tweet at
person
you.
to know it.
You'll be one of 3 people in the world who know.
Wow.
Gamer X
I'm envious.
is getting a secret from Calvin,
And Darcy and I will
Dev.
work out what that is.
Yeah, and Dev 3388 is going to be about what was going on with Kitty's omen, about that demon with her dragging her fingernails over that pool and looking down on what Kitty was doing and messing with her summoning circle in some way. So lots of stuff happened. Thank you so much. This is super fun, and the omens were really fun.
Yeah.
Character summaries briefly.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 despairs, and I got one joy. And you know what? I'm gonna say I think I should have another joy for finding I mean, so many things. There's the connection that I had with Libre Light in the beginning, I feel is great. Finding Agamemnon is like incredible because Calvin feels like there might be some actually relevant, real answers, and there's somebody who could help me with them, which is wild. And I think I probably need a despair too, and I'm gonna say it's the rat coin. Just the nature of it, like
what it says about your future.
Yeah, because there's a certainty in that, and also an uncertainty.
Yeah.
Like because they're doing great things. Like Calvin has sort of been slowly finding out from different places that there's something going on with him that is more than it appears to be. But also, like, it's supposed to end in certain death, and like from what Calvin can understand, he might have died already. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Did he escape this cycle already, or does he have to watch out for it coming up?
Right. That rat coin's still jangling around in his pocket.
Yep. So, and he did just get the rat coin, which is the whole other thing. So yeah, I think definitely at least one joy and definitely a despair to accompany that joy.
Yeah, I'm going to give you one joy and one despair, the Libre Light and some other minor successes there, and the despair from the rat coin.
Minor.
Yeah, in the scheme of things. And then I guess I wanted to answer the question to myself. So Agamemnon Butler was able to give Calvin a little bit of information, right? Like, there's something wonky going on with your memories. It shed a little bit of insight, but I was thinking he was tinkering around with some of the more powerful, you were looking for the secret. You were in your final moments of whatever you were doing, whether or not you died, after you pulled away from his mind, I was wondering if you jiggled anything loose or did anything beneficial. And I pulled the ancient and of notions, which is you.
Wow!
So judgment, safety, assistance, light, and justice. Do you have any ideas for what you could have either shaken loose in his brain or
while you were looking for the secret
for
at the end of creation?
I think
something good happens. I'm not sure what.
I don't know if you have something in the can for this or not.
Okay.
But maybe the thing we jar loose is a memory of something Calvin is doing or a situation that he is in that sheds light on it, like to a T pins exactly what kind of man he was before he reemerged from shadow. So,
boy,
like whatever his personality and like drives and like fundamental
before he went to shadow.
Right. So before he reemerged as this like wild-eyed, everything is new, kind of like not short-fused, but like snippety.
Impulsive
is the word I'm looking for. Person. Getting a view back at a moment that, like, distinctly and without any possibility for misinterpretation shows what kind of person he used to be.
I think this is a vision of Calvin with a leg up on the mast of this golden ship.
I was thinking that moment.
Wreathed in golden flames.
Yeah.
Still pretty difficult to interpret, but also no mistaking whatever it means.
Can I?
Oh, please.
Okay, because it's an angel, right?
Yeah, jam it at us.
Okay. So it is you leg up on the ship.
Washington style.
Everything's starting to go poorly. Like this is the start of the end of it, right? This is the start of, and you're wreathed in golden flames, So we get that moment where you're getting called back by Libre Light and other people to like bail, right? And you're sort of. And that wreath in golden flames is maybe an effect only you can see, but it's all of that, and you look back and you consider, you make the decision not to go back, and so Libre Light is out there reaching for you, and you're leaning forward, trying to get to wherever it is you're going, and as you what is your hand? What are your hands doing in this moment? Are you grasping onto the edge of the ship? Are you holding something?
I think I'm reaching towards the edge.
Yeah, you're reaching toward the edge, and as you do so, a hand comes through the edge, and it's a different hand that takes yours. It looks exactly like your hand. What are on your hand? Are there rings? Are there previous Calvin had? How can we tell it's your hand?
Boy, that is a really good question.
There's something that lets us know it's you.
I think that in this vision that Libre Light has shown Calvin, something maybe that Calvin didn't even pick up on, but is hard for us to ignore now that we see a vision of their hands. Calvin had a wedding band.
Perfect.
On his hand.
Yes.
And it is that wedding band.
All right. It is that wedding band that comes out and touches your hand and starts. You start sort of disappearing from the other side, vanishing into smoke. And as you are being pulled past this edge that you'd been searching for, or seemingly pulled past it, you see the smiling, snarling face of Daniel McPherson on the other edge.
What?
That's where we'll cut it.
Wow! What?
Wearing your wedding band.
Daniel McPherson is your Nightwayne.
Maybe. Maybe not.
What the crap?
I have to destroy him.
I've been
We
saying
have to
that since
destroy
day
him.
one.
But he was at the moment when you disappeared, so certainly not good.
And he tried to control my power and turn me into one of his sausages. And he's been doing it to demons and angels. And working with OG Kitty Hart. Who is this thing?
Who's the bigger power is the question. All right, cool. So that's what you learn from that. That's what gets jarred loose, but in the, it takes a moment for it to sort of take, I think, because you see Kitty, and so that will dawn on you. Or
Good is always stronger than evil, Darcy. So
not an invisible sun.
we
acumen.
So we got that acumen. Boy. Wow, I feel like some big things just popped off right then. Find a place in Saturon. No. Mysterious background. Who were you? That is, I think that might be, there are still questions to be answered, but we got that on a fundamental level. I know that now, so that is resolved.
Sweet.
Daniel McPherson, why is he interested in you? I don't know if it's resolved, but I feel like we're extremely close.
Yeah.
And get a job? Nope. Not even close.
Boy, oh boy. It's weird that we play a game in a world where get a job is way harder than like unraveling mysteries of the universe and like confronting horrible demons.
It's super cool. So I'm going to give you 5 acumen for closing out the who am I? Who was I? And I'm going to give you let's say 2 acumen for getting closer to Daniel McPherson answers.
Wow.
All right. That's where we'll cut it for today.
Only on a woman with hollow eyes, folks.
Yeah. So now memories can be a tricky thing, as I think Agamemnon Butler would tell you.
Yes.
But you learned something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I did.
And I have some ideas about Agamemnon's life cycles.
Good.
As well.
Good. Okay, we should talk.
Okay.
All right, everybody. This was a super delight. I'm going to thank you so much for participating and giving us sortilege and venture, which we desperately needed this session. And I have some brief plugs, so you'll definitely want to tune in next week. Can we announce the who of it? Can we announce who's going to be there?
Yeah, absolutely we can.
Cool. We're going to have a guest.
A very special guest.
Yes.
Fun, exciting guest. Please, Darcy.
Tanya DePass, like one of my heroes, just an amazing, amazing person in the RPG industry and
games at large.
Games at large. She's an awesome streamer. She runs I Need Diverse Games and, has a number of other accolades under her belt, but she's awesome, and she's a Chicago local, and she's going to join us to participate in next week's session of A Woman with Hollow Eyes.
It's gonna be dope.
She's amazing.
You
I'm so
remember
excited.
Tanya from our Torg episodes. And Alan was there for those. So check those out, refamiliarize yourself with Tanya. Follow I Need Diverse Games because they've got a great message, and they need more people to boost that signal.
Absolutely. Speaking of boosting the signal, a super cool game called Earworm is on Kickstarter right now, and has been. We had some streamed play sessions at the One Shot Network last week or the week before. But I'm going to be. I think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be playing in it on Thursday
Oh,
here. So yeah.
fun.
So tune in Thursday night. I think 7:30 Central Time for a game of Earworm. It's super fun. It's about and I'm a bad singer, so if I can play this game, anybody can. And the shtick of Earworm is that you don't use words, but you have to get people to guess the song you're.
It's musical charades. It's
musical charades, exactly.
It's a very fun party game. You can check out the old Earworm stream, I think, is up on our YouTube page, but look forward to that new one. And if you haven't backed already, go check out that Kickstarter. Their trajectory is good, but I think any momentum would really do a lot to ease some Kickstarter anxiety, which I feel like the One Shot Network at large is all about easing that Kickstarter anxiety.
Absolutely. So the last two, so we'll have an amazing guest next week, and also maybe if I can get in the works, a special thank you for people who have been watching who might want to get in on playing this game as opposed to just watching it be played. So stay tuned, definitely tune in. And the last, we're thinking the finale is going to be the session after that. That's my plan.
Wow, okay,
Holy
that is the
shit.
plan. That is wild. Season finale coming up in 2 weeks.
And I have something very special planned for that.
Oh my god.
I'm losing it.
That
It's
would
the
be
18th,
the
I believe.
18th.
I could be wrong. These guys could totally derail my plans.
Yeah,
but
it is possible, but
that's
y'all,
some big reveals.
you want to be there for that. This is going to be wild.
I'm sweating.
I'm
I'm just sweating, sitting and sweating.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yes, and if you want to watch other Invisible Sun shows, I am going to be a player in The Raven Wants What You Have, which is MCG's Invisible Sun stream, and we're always live chatting with Monty, the very Monty Cook who lies to us about this game not being magic. So if you want to come harangue him live in chat but harangue politely so I don't lose my job.
Yeah, I mean, we need to be nice to him because he's a lying sorcerer. He made a
Right.
game that's actually magic. We don't know what he's capable of.
Very true. So that'll be Friday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, so 9 p.m. Central. Thank you so much. We are really excited to see you next week. And let's close this intense, weird, bizarre session out. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.